Welcome to the Hold My Cape podcast, the movie news and review show. Hello everybody and welcome to Hold My Cape, the show where we talk movie news and, well, other movie stuff. I'm one of your hosts, Fish or Adam, whichever one you want to call me. I'm here with Mook or Liam, whatever you want to call it.
What do you want to call me?
Yeah, he is the other host. There's two of us. It's our first episode. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to have some news stories followed by some like a main topic of sorts. But before we get to that point, have you done anything interesting this week, Mook?
Have I done anything interesting this week? I've been working hard, sleeping hard, but no, just being excited for this podcast and we're good to get this off the road, see what people think when we've done this. So.
Have you watched any of The Witcher yet?
I haven't watched any of The Witcher yet.
Have you watched any
but
of
I have seen a
Mandalorian?
lot of memes about The Witcher. What I have watched this week, which I enjoyed quite a lot, I don't know if we'll talk about it later, but Jojo Rabbit.
Never heard of it.
Oh, you know, it's been nominated for 6 different BAFTAs. It's in cinemas now, and it is Taika Waititi's film where he plays Hitler.
A rabbit? Oh, I think I might have heard about this. I think I might have saw a trailer for it.
Yeah, it's a film. Like, I don't know, do we want to talk about this now or?
Yeah,
why not? We're started. Yeah, it's a film about a young boy who is in the Nazi youth. It's set in World War II, and he's like a big Nazi fan. But it's a comedy. Like it's interesting. When I first watched this film, I thought, how are they going to approach it?
So you've seen it then?
Oh,
You've been to the cinema and
yeah, I
seen
went to
it?
the cinema, sorry, yeah.
On your own?
Yeah.
2 p.m?
No,
Midday?
It was 7:30.
Midday viewing?
I missed the 2 p.m. slot. It was fully booked, I'm sure. But no, yeah. It's a boy. He's in Nazi Germany, and he's got an imaginary best friend. Just his imaginary best friend is Hitler, but a very very camp Hitler. He's very funny Hitler. So
I didn't get that from the trailer. I must have missed it.
yeah, and then he's growing up, and basically he learns the film goes on that he's obsessed with the Nazis and stuff like that, but his mum's a bit more on the resistance side of things, and like they find basically there's a Jew living in the house that's like hidden in the attic, and it's about how the relationship between this Jewish girl and this Nazi youth kid develops, and yeah, it's quite charming. Like it's good how the emotions play on it, because it starts off where all I knew going into the film was
It's got Nazis in it.
well, yeah, well, all I knew was Taika Waititi, who I love, but obviously he's mainly a comedy actor, obviously, and director. In fact, he did everything for this. It was based on a book apparently, but he wrote the screenplay, so he made it into a script. He's in it, playing like basically the lead role, and he's also
What is he, Hitler?
yeah, he's Hitler. Exactly. So you think obviously it's going to be. Apparently, he said when he filmed it, because he's director as well. So when he was making it, he said no actor wanted to do Hitler, especially like a comedic Hitler. You know what I mean? Hitler was also sort of seen in a good light because the main character is this kid in the Nazi youth, and his imaginary best friend's Hitler. So it's not like Hitler's a bad guy for most of the film. You know what I mean? It's like so he said that he couldn't get an actor to do it, so he thought I'll do it myself. So hence why I did it. But he's doing everything, and there's comedy elements in it because I forgot her name, but there's like a comedic bit right near the beginning where he goes to Hitler Youth training camp, and there's all sorts of like carry-ons with like throwing grenades and stuff like this, and there's a few comedy actors in it. Stephen Merchant, who I really like, who's like Ricky Gervais's right-hand man. He's in it.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Film.
Well, not personally, but I know who he is.
Yeah, the cast is quite small. The only other big name they've got is Scarlett Johansson plays the mum of the kid. But yeah, it's nice because it's got comedic elements in it. It's got quite dark elements in it. It's got emotional elements in it. You know, elements that make you sad but laugh and stuff like that. It's a sweet film. I enjoyed it a lot, and yeah, it's got quite a lot of praise because it's been nominated for 6 different BAFTAs. So,
6.
Yeah, I don't know all of them. I know one of them's Best Director. He's been nominated for Taika Waititi. Best Supporting Actress for Scarlett Johansson. She's been nominated for. Best Adapted Screenplay, I think it is. You know, like film adapted from.
You're halfway there.
So yeah, I'm halfway there. Trying to think what else. Maybe Best Picture. I don't know. Couldn't tell you the others, but yeah, definitely 6. That's all.
Well, you mentioned the word dark. Today is the 10th of January, 10 days into 2020, and over here in the UK, Netflix has just released Titans Season 2. Did you watch Season 1?
I did not.
Do you mind if I spoil this?
You can spoil it. I'll tell you why I didn't watch Titans Series 1.
Go on.
Because
The trailer looked shit.
I saw the trailer, I saw the promotional photos, and I thought, oh wow,
I think
what is this?
the Robin costume's good. Anyway, so...
Although I've got to say, as much as my own stuff has put me off and I haven't given it a shot, I do know that I've heard mixed reviews. I know there's some people who don't like it very much, but I've heard also there's people that do.
I've seen it. It wasn't the best thing in the world, but it wasn't absolutely garbage. But this is Season 2. So...
Interesting though, you missed Series 1, didn't you?
No, I watched Season 1.
You watched Season 1,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I liked it, but I didn't think it was out special.
Okay. There's how many series now? 3?
This is the second one, so there's 2.
Oh.
Right, this is the second one.
Okay, fair enough. Right.
So, I'll just read from my notes.
I'll spoil
Titans
one
is
for
out
everyone,
today.
by the way.
Yeah, spoilers. Titans is out today. Blue tint still exists, so like how we view the world now is not how you see the world in Titans 2. So you go on Instagram, you upload your photo,
Okay, yeah.
and then you go onto your warmth filter,
Yeah.
and you turn it right down 5 times. It's like that's what it looks like. Everything's got this tint of blue. So all the really good costumes, like there's like some of them are alright, some of them are really good,
Yeah.
some of them are just clothes. But like Robin's costume, which is obviously supposed to be bright red and bright yellow and green, is more of a maroon, dark yellow, and black. Because the blues just took over.
And what about, because Starfire as well is quite a cool.
Yeah, she just wears a dress, like a purple dress, most of the time. At least that's what she was wearing in this one. So, Robin is turned evil because spoilers at the end of season 1. He goes at the end of season 1. Raven's in this house with Beast Boy, who's really injured, and to save his life, he has to bring his dad, Trigon, out of wherever it is he is. I'm not a massive Teen Titans fanatic, so she gets him back to make him better. She makes him better, and to save her, Robin goes into the house, which has got this weird, like, black, cloudy force field around it. He goes in, and he goes into this vision, and in this vision, he's on holiday. He's not on holiday. He's at home. He's got a perfect wife, family, whatever. He's retired from being Robin, and he's like sunbathing. And it comes on the news that Batman has caved and he's going to kill the Joker.
Right, okay.
Batman's going to kill the Joker. He goes to the Batcave with some police, tells the police not to. Batman kills all these police.
Oh wow.
Robin fights Batman and kills Batman. Like, you don't see him though. It's more like you might see him flash by and then he'd do something and somehow rubble falls on him and he crushes him. Anyway, so he kills him by standing on his chest.
This is in real life or the vision?
This is in the vision.
Okay.
And then, so now in real life, he's like evil. He's got this dark, like, shadows around his eyes.
So
and then
he's evil, yeah.
Yeah, and then we come into season 2, sorry. So Robin's turned evil, and Raven's dad wants to destroy the world.
Nothing new there.
Beast Boy's in the house. The house starts like shifting, like corridors like extend and twist.
Okay.
Just once.
Enough to get the
Do
picture.
you know that Instagram filter where you open your mouth and you like go towards the camera?
No, but carry on.
Like your face goes black and your mouth goes wide.
Oh no, I do know. Yes,
Yeah.
I do know. Yeah.
Well, these photos on the wall start to do that, or they start to get the black eyes around them, and he's like, "Oh, this is scary." And I'm watching it thinking, "This is going for trying to go for a horror vibe."
Was it succeeding?
So Robin is chasing them through this house.
Chasing who?
Raven and Beast Boy.
Okay.
Because what's he called? Trigon needs to get Raven to destroy the world or something.
Yeah. I don't know much about the Titans, but I feel like.
But keep that in your head.
Potential. Yeah.
Right. He needs Raven. Keep that in your head.
Okay.
Right. So the rest of the Titans are outside the the house. There's Jason Todd, Hawk, who I've never heard of until this,
No.
and Dove, who I've never heard of, and Starfire, and I think Wonder Girl. I think.
Okay. Oh, so it's quite a big Titans roster. Is it?
Yeah.
More than normal.
So, where am I?
I mean, yeah, true. They have bulked it through with.
So they, one by one, they walk into the thing. So they all walk in, and then it shows. So Starfire goes in, and when she walks in, she's in the house. So obviously you're made to think, get in. She's made the house. And Raven's like, oh no, it's all my fault. Just kill me. That's what you came to this planet to do. Which is what her backstory basically is. She comes to the planet. She gets amnesia. She forgets what she's come to the planet for, who she is, who her parents are, all this. So she kills Raven. But turns out this is a vision. She gets the black eye filter, Instagram filter.
Just imagine all these people in this mansion just with their mouths wide open and like.
No, they haven't got the mouths open. They're just plain spade faced with black eyes.
Black eyes, fair enough.
Sapphire meets Raven, and Raven's all like, kill me, because that's what you came to Earth to do. So she does, burns her to a crisp.
Oof.
Holds her neck, dissolves her, essentially.
Can I stop you there a sec? Was any of this, because you've said quite a lot of like horror and dark elements, did it come across quite threatening, or
No.
did you think it was laughable?
It was a bit shit.
Oh.
This is all within the first, what I feel should have been almost like a full episode, this next
It
bit.
does sound like this is near the end.
But no. So then Wonder Girl goes in, goes to when her dad died, and she tries to save him. She doesn't, so she kills the man who... her dad died in a fire. So she kills the man who started the fire by throwing him out of a window. Then she appears in the house with the black eyes.
I see.
Jason Todd appears in the Batcave where Dick Grayson has just killed Batman.
Yeah,
what we spoke about.
Yeah.
So they fight. It's a pretty decent fight, to be fair. I'll give them that. Give it up, Robin. No, he's like, give it up, Robin. And he's like, Jason Todd's on the floor, like beating, because obviously Dick Grayson's a better Robin.
Yeah.
That's
well,
why.
Jason Todd is known for one thing, and it's dying. So.
Yeah. So he's like, give it up. He's like, no. So he points a gun at him that is just smashed through like a vase. He's like, oh, you're going to shoot me with the gun that killed Bruce Wayne's parents.
Oh, wow.
Don't you know he never keeps that loaded? And he's like, but I do. He shoots him in the head. So then he appears in the house with the black eyes, right?
Okay.
Dove and Hawk go to somewhere.
It's
like a house. It's just like a house, yeah. Answer the door. A man gives them drugs. Hawk gives Dove the drugs. Hawk's a man, by the way. Can't really tell by the name. Hawk gives Dove some drugs, and she passes out.
It would be funny if
and then they both appear in the house with black eyes.
It'd be funny if Hawk and Dove were like the opposite. So Dove, you'd think, was a small, slender woman, but she's actually this big, bulking man.
All the people who killed these visions come into the house to kill Raven and Beast Boy. They all beat up Beast Boy.
Oh God, poor man.
At first, you're like, oh, it's quite brutal. Then it shows you like a shot from above, and they're just kicking him.
Right.
It's like
he's
just there going.
He's
just there going.
It's not even change.
No. He can turn into like. I think so far he's got like 3 animals. One's like a tiger.
Oh, that's cool.
And a snake. You turn into a tiger, anyway.
Or a snake.
He doesn't
escape quickly.
Yeah. So they all beat Beast Boy up. Raven talks to Robin about how he promised to help her. So he looks at her, and I think his eyes went like almost back to normal. Then he threw her at a shelf.
Oh, that's it.
So she screams. Her dad says it's her fault and stabs her with his hand, and then out of nowhere, hang on. She screams. Her dad says it's her fault and stabs her with his hands. Then he turns into a demon with extremely.
Oh, so his dad, because
her dad is Trigon.
No, but how's Trigon shown? Because when I think of I don't know much about Trigon, but comic Trigon I remember is a big red demon with 3 eyes.
So he is in human form.
Okay.
He stabs her, turns into the Trigon,
right?
Very poorly, and he's holding this. Somehow she's not dead. I don't know why, but I'm sure he stabs her and pulls this diamond out of her stomach, and you're like, Right.
Bad kidney stones.
And then, where am I? She stands up, all demon-eyed and stuff, and he puts this diamond like in her head. Or he might do that when she's laying on the floor. I can't remember. Either way, she puts this diamond in her head, and that's how you get the classic, Raven with the diamond in her head thing. She stands up, all demon-eyed and stuff. They walk outside, and the devil man looks shite. Especially, he looked alright.
What do you mean? Trigon?
Trigon, outside, in more of a natural light, looks awful. He just so, like, he's walking, and the smash glass, she's just got thrown at this, like, shelf thing.
Yeah.
So the smash glass all over the floor. It's just, like, footsteps, like loud thudding footsteps.
Yeah.
But the glass doesn't move at all. And he just clearly just, like, composited on terribly. So he walks outside, and as he's walking, like, the grass and birds are just dying, and the grass is, like, dying.
Yeah.
So we all think Beast Boy's dead, because obviously he's been beaten up.
Yeah.
He walks through, he's killing the grass as he walks through it. Beast Boy turns into a snake.
Okay, useful.
Slivers. Obviously this isn't a real snake, but while he's slithering, the glass is going like moving with the snake, and as if it's been touched. Someone had to put more effort into a snake than a demon. Raven walks outside to her dad.
Is Trigon, is he particularly big? Is he bigger than a human, or is he?
Yeah, he's got like 4 eyes. He's like he looks like about 8 foot.
Okay, right. Okay, I was wondering if they were making it human size, or how they were doing it. Does he have an army, or is it just him?
Just him.
Okay,
just him. Where am I? He turns human and holds Raven's hand. Wait, CGI is bad. He turns human and holds Raven's hand, says come back to us, and she does. And she does. Wait.
This is fish.
I've moved, because I've scrolled through my notes and it's moved one of my note points up. So, Beast Boy's turned into a snake. CGI is good here. He turns into human, holds Raven's hand, says to come back. Literally, she's made this big thing about her being turned evil. You think, fuck, it's just Beast Boy on his own. He turns into a human, holds her hand and says, come back to us, and she's like, alright.
Alright. So it was a little bit of a anticlimactic letdown.
Yeah.
See, that almost even starts like the start of maybe a series arc. Since you were watching episode 1.
Yeah.
I was maybe going to think that, like, turning
No, we're about halfway through.
Oh, wow, I thought this was maybe near the end.
No. So, this is just like that. Raven talks to Dick Grayson. She tells him to remember. She goes to him, and then there's like a vision. She goes to him in the Batcave, where he's standing over a dead Batman who he's killed. They talk about saving each other. He grabs her neck. She showed him the circus, and he cuts to the circus, and suddenly they're in this circus. She's saying to him, and he So he's a trapeze artist, isn't he? So he stood on one thing, and she swings, and like falls for what looks like, it doesn't look like slow motion, but the time it takes her to fall is like slow motion. So she's falling like, arms waving in normal speed, and you're like, oh, clearly he just doesn't care. And the next thing you know, out of nowhere, he's caught her, and he's a good guy again. So now he's a good guy again. Raven walks outside to his dad, her dad, and she just kills him.
Easy.
Mm-hmm. Literally looks at him and turns him to dust.
Oh.
There's all this swirling stuff. I can't remember any dialogue or much dialogue. I think it's like.
Wait, so what happened with Hawk, Dove, Starfire?
Oh, they all just turned good, I guess.
So they had no rescue.
No.
No. Wow.
I didn't write that down. Or at least. No. He destroys her. Fuck's sake. He destroys him. She destroys him. Fuck. Raven destroys Trigon by like looking at him saying, no, I don't want to do this. There's all this swirly stuff. He turns to dust. There's like an explosion. Like a burst of energy more than an explosion. The rest of the Titans go falling, like flying a little bit, about 3 or 4 feet, and then they wake up all good guys again. Jason, and then that's it. That's
Wow.
so you'd think. You'd think that would be like a epic showdown.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It wasn't an epic showdown, but you'd think there'd be something and it would end.
Yeah.
Or you think it would end after this bit, which is next, where...
So this isn't yet?
No.
Oh.
There's like a news report because there's loads of dead birds, and apparently they know the end of the world was stalked by a group of masked heroes.
Oh, so the Titans aren't known by the public in this?
No, they are, because in this universe, the Teen Titans have been and gone. Like they've been a team and then they've split up.
Expanded,
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So there's a news report going on somehow. Jason Todd jumps in the front of the camera and shouts, "Teen Titans are back, bitches!" Raven hugs Dick Grayson. I've just wrote Raven hugs Dick. Sounds a bit weird. Raven hugs Dick Grayson. The two Robins and Raven go their own way from the rest of the team.
Oh, okay, interesting.
And now you'd think, roll credits.
Yeah. Again.
No. We see a hut in some woods. A man washing his hair in a sink. It looks like he's washing his beard / his hair and his face. He's got an eye patch on.
Oh, okay. Suggesting someone.
Yeah. He goes to a store and then something happens. Like the store clerk turns around and he's gone. And then out of nowhere, the editing in this is just shocking. Like he's just randomly in this building with a man in a suit now. Unless I missed a little transition scene.
Probably not.
So he's in this building with a man in a suit. They open a secret door. It's a room full of guns.
Okay.
And whoa, it's Deathstroke. You see a costume on the wall. See guns.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And a Deathstroke costume.
Away, almost,
Yeah. And to be fair, it's a pretty decent looking costume.
Yeah.
And yeah, roll credit. No.
Oh, you've again.
But it's not over.
Me.
Robin goes to a mansion, and an old man says, "Hello," pretty much, greets him. And he's like, turns out it's Bruce Wayne, this old guy. It's
Oh, cool.
can't remember the guy. I can't remember the actor's name. Have you seen Kick-Ass 2?
Oh, have I? That's a good question.
He's in that.
Okay, cool.
He's a guy that the main bad guy visits in prison and gets it. Anyway, so it's just you'll know him. He's one of the people you know when you see him. He's not really known for playing a good guy.
Okay, so he's a standard.
But I guess Batman's almost like a bad guy anyway, because he's like hard.
Yeah, true. I guess. I've just googled it. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a very classic.
Yeah.
He's in Game of Thrones.
Do you know his name?
I'll find his name for you. Carry on.
Yeah. So where am I? So Robin is going to talk to him about the reason why he left, and that it was because he has this darkness inside of him or whatever. They have a cup of tea. Bruce talks about Jason Todd showing promise. He says that he's going to go to San Francisco with the Titans. And Bruce is like, yeah, as long as you take Jason Todd.
Oh yeah. He's called the actor who plays Bruce Wayne in Titans is called Ian Glenn.
Yeah, that's the gadget. Yeah. And then you almost think, at least, surely it's coming close, which it is. It's coming close now. It's the last little bit now. It talks about going to San Francisco to stay over there with the Titans. Beast Boy comes over. So they're in this new Titans building now. They're in this San Francisco. They're driving, and he's like, "Where are we going?" He's like, "I thought the big bridge would give it away, the Golden Gate San Francisco Bridge." And Beast Boy comes across the Titans changing room, I guess, or at least where they randomly stood, because it's like there's these almost like alcoves, like human-sized alcoves on this wall, right? No way to stand a costume, and then it shows you a vision of like Robin, Hawk, Dove, Wonder Girl stood in full costume, just like stood like, almost like round one,
Okay.
kind of pose.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to them not actually being there, but like they just stood. Like, where do these costumes go? There's in a heap in this anyway. And then Jason Todd finds a training room. and then it zooms out from the building, and you're thinking, oh, they're going to do the T-shaped building, aren't they?
Yeah.
No, it's just a skyscraper in San Francisco.
Oh, that's a little bit annoying. I feel like the T-shaped building was
And
iconic.
then roll credits.
Then roll credits.
And there was no after credit scene.
Fantastic.
But yeah, like, at first I was thinking, this is really rushed. And
But-
not very good. And then at the end, it was like dragging it out so much. But yeah, I'm going to push myself through the rest.
Yeah, because this is we spoke about this before we started recording this podcast, and he didn't tell me anything about the episode. He just told me he thought the episode seemed rushed, but he also thought the episode seemed dragged out. And to which I thought, what do you mean? These are a contradiction. But obviously now I've heard this, it sounds like they rushed the main story into the first bit, done a quick ending that seems underwhelming, and then have dragged the rest of the episode out with so much stuff to set up the rest of the series.
Yeah, rather than
Complete a story
doing what
well.
essentially should just have been in season 1.
Yeah, potentially. But yeah, so good points, bad points. What did you like most? What you
Best
look
part
forward to
was
seeing more
probably
of?
the Robin back here fight.
Okay,
Some
cool.
quick
I imagine that's quite good.
foot movement.
Because the thing
and
about these sort of
punches and
shows is, I haven't seen many of the DC TV shows, and to be honest, I am doing a bit of a disservice because I hear good things about Arrow, I hear good things about the Flash, and even Titans. I've heard good things about Titans, but I think the thing that puts me off is the effects just look lacking.
No, because it's a TV budget, isn't it?
But stuff like a Robin on Robin fight, you can do that without such a big budget because it is obviously they aren't powered, are they? So you can have effects. So that
Yeah.
I can imagine that being alright.
But it's that was the only sort of like action sequence in this.
Yeah, even Trigon went down a bit.
He just kind of he just fizzled away. But like the season 1, like the one-on-one fights aren't bad
Yeah.
in parts. Some of it's a bit choppy, but it's not bad when the camera's still. But it's just really lackluster. Like, if it wasn't on Netflix, I wouldn't go out of my way to watch it. If we had that World's DC streaming service in England, I wouldn't download it for that.
What are you looking forward to seeing more of as you continue series 2? More Hawk and Dove?
No, I don't know. No, probably Deathstroke because he's like because of Arrow.
Yeah, of course, yeah,
He's
Deathstroke.
one of my favourite DC villains.
It's going to be interesting though because obviously it's going to be 2 different Deathstrokes. Because I don't know how
They're not in the same
No, they're not in
universe.
the same
No.
universe.
Well, in the latest crossover episode on the Arrowverse side,
I guess.
there's like a small scene at the beginning where it comes up like World 57 or whatever,
Yeah.
and you
it'll
see
be-
Jason Todd from this. Look,
Yeah.
he goes to the sky, and as he goes red. If you've seen Crisis of Infinite Earths, you'll know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so far it's shit. I mean, it might get better.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a
First
start of a
episode.
series. I mean,
Yeah,
you've got to start somewhere.
but it's that bad that I had time to watch episode 2 and I didn't.
Oh, okay. Again, that's what I mean. It's not inspiring. And the thing about these series as well, another thing that puts me off a bit, but I'm guessing that these series are like 24 episodes of about an hour.
I don't know
each.
actually. I'll soon tell you. Okay, carry on.
And for me, that's usually an off-putting thing because not the fact that
Arrow's like that.
yeah, not the fact there's a lot of episodes as such. Because obviously, if you're a fan of the show, you want as much content as possible. But a lot of the times, you get many episodes that are just filler. Many episodes where not much happens, and you think to yourself, you could have easily condensed that and saved a bit of time.
So there's 13 episodes, and the first episode's like 52 minutes. But
Okay,
after
13
that, there's
episodes,
like
right.
41, 47, 44, 43. Then they seem to stay at like 43. There's a 49,
It's about an hour, I
48.
guess, more or less.
About 50 minutes. 40 to 50 minutes an episode. So there's 13 episodes in season 2, and there's 11 in season 1.
One thing I've got to ask though, and it's a little bit unrelated, but it's to do with Titans. The one big thing I hear about Titans all the time is Doom Patrol.
Apparently that's really good.
Because obviously
A lot better.
Cyborg isn't in the Titans, is he? He's a villain
No.
in the first series, is he? As part of Doom
No,
Patrol?
he shows up, I think.
And now Doom Patrol have their own series.
I don't even think he shows up. I think he just... Yeah, I know he's just in a poster or in a trailer for Doom Patrol. And apparently Doom Patrol's quite good.
Yeah, I've heard it's quite good.
So's, I've got a pop figure. Swamp Thing, apparently the first season, that is really good, but they cancelled it.
They cancelled it, yeah.
Yeah.
That seemed darker. I saw the trailer for that and it seemed dark.
Yeah. Have you got another news story?
Yeah, well, it's kind of breaking news because it only happened today. I found out earlier this morning when I woke up. But the main director of Doctor Strange has quit. And
yeah. When was that? Hey Google! When was Doctor Strange 2 Multiverse of Madness supposed to be released? Hang on.
On the website Variety.com, they say Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is scheduled for release on May 7th, 2021. Do you want a little more context?
No, thank you. 2021, probably.
Okay.
Shut up. 2021, so at least they've got some time there.
they've got time. But I do feel like it's an interesting move. Now, he's quit, and apparently it's for creative differences.
Yeah.
And at this point in time, we don't know for sure what the differences were. And obviously, Marvel has done this before, and obviously the famous one was with Ant-Man, where director Edgar Wright stepped down. Again, apparently due to creative differences. And the rumour is on the creative differences. This one was Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness was the guy who was directing it, who just stepped down. His name I forget. Was more of an acclaimed horror director, and he wanted to take more of a horror take with Doctor Strange too. And obviously, when you're a franchise like Marvel and the Disney franchise of the Marvel multiverse, maybe the horror he wanted to do was too far for Doctor Strange. And I don't know exactly, this is all obviously just rumours, but they say he maybe wanted more of a horror take. Disney said, we can't have it as you like, and obviously they couldn't find a middle ground, and so he left. Now, I've spoken to some friends about this, and they say that they're siding with the director on this because they don't like that a director's vision can't be realised because a company steps in. And to some extent, I can get that. However, I always bring it back to they're not that bad. I mean, if you look at Thor Ragnarok, they took a very interesting twist with Thor away from the other two films. It was a success. And again, it was Taika Waititi who did Jojo Rabbit, who directed Thor Ragnarok, and he's made one of Marvel's most successful films in terms of money and critically acclaimed. Probably the best Thor film as well. So I do think it's alright. I mean, usually, to be fair, stories like this, usually you hear from DC. Aside from Ant-Man's and now Thor 2.
Ant-Man got delayed a lot, didn't it? Like, it wasn't Scott Derrickson, was it?
It is, yeah, Scott Derrickson.
Because he's now a producer.
Yeah, he did change to, I think, executive producer, but obviously you lose a lot of... He's dropped his position a lot from directing, and it's it goes from your vision to just your money, isn't it?
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, like, people get worried about stuff like this, but it happens a lot. Like, just 'cause it happens in films that we don't even hear stuff about. Like, if I go on to IMDb, hang on, and let's have a look. I'm on IMDb now. If I go to coming soon.
It happens a lot, but I think the problem is it depends when it happens.
No, if I go to coming soon, I'll scroll down randomly and just stop. I still believe March 13th, 2020. Never heard of it. For all we know, that could have swapped.
No, true, directors. But I think it does depend a lot. So, for example, if you take Marvel's other case, which is the most direct one you can copy, Ant-Man. Now, I'm a fan of Ant-Man. I think the first Ant-Man film's a solid film.
Yeah.
However, there's a lot of people that think it's not as solid because they think the vision was different, and because the director changed later in the game, you know, the amount of reshoots and rewriting of scripts and stuff, it messes the system up.
Yeah. Well, look at Rogue One. Like, Rogue One lost directors and got directors and got reshot and stuff, and like that's a really good film, but it's still a bit of a mess. Like Justice League.
Yeah, Justice
is
League
a big one. That lost a director, got reshot, turned out shit. It's on Netflix now.
Yeah,
and
not only that, I mean, sometimes, you know...
Not Netflix, sorry, it might be on Amazon Prime
Video. I think
one of the two.
It depends how far you change it, because I feel like with DC, where they've gone wrong a lot, and The one they've definitely gone wrong with is The Flash, which was supposed to be released a good few years ago and is still not out in cinemas now, and yet it's still going forward. That's changed directors about 3 times already. It's had 3 or 4 different directors.
Hey Google, when is the next Flash film coming out?
The Flash was released globally in 2020.
God's sake.
Was it? I've missed that film then.
Yeah. I'll Google it on my phone, not via voice.
Not by a voice. But yes, the Flash film has been delayed a few times, had a few different directors. But I think the problem with a lot of these films is they're so strict to getting them out on a certain day, and the time constraints are so strict. If you change a director at a certain point, there's very little you can do. It's like a new director has to pull through an old director's vision, and that can be messy.
July 1st, 2022.
Okay, so it's still got 2 years.
Yeah. The plot is unknown. Feature film based on the comic book superhero The Flash. That picture's pretty cool though.
But considering it was supposed to come out before Justice League, is a little bit of a shocker.
Yeah. And they could have easily rewritten, with a story arc called Flashpoint, they could have easily rewritten everything that was wrong with the DCEU. But they didn't. Have you heard that the next Star Wars films are going to be set, apparently, going to be set in the High Republic?
I have 400 years
400 years
before
before
the
prequels.
And Yoda,
Yoda's going to be like
a young man.
technically in what would be his 20s.
Yeah. His
I've heard
200s.
jokes about him sleeping about and being like sexy Yoda. Imagine if there's like a topless 6-pack scene of him like getting out of a shower or something. You know that scene where you see like the fit guy get out of the shower just as he wraps a towel around.
Yeah.
And
Anakin
he's
had
like-
that. Kylo Ren had.
Anakin did have that, didn't he? He got up
He
out
did.
of bed and walked out that corridor.
He does, yeah. And Kylo Ren famously
Kylo
has
Ren,
the
super wise.
Superman Kylo Ren.
Yeah. So yeah, but I don't know anything about the High Republic. I think it's a new thing because I'm not big with the Star Wars comics. I'm
No,
a film
same.
guy.
The only thing I've heard is, same as you, it's set 400 years before the events of the prequels. Young Yoda could appear because he would obviously be a young man at that point. But also, apparently, that the Sith have already got like quite a tight control of things.
I heard that
Galaxy,
it's
I heard.
set after. It's after they introduced the rule of 2, or they've only just established the rule of 2, or something.
I just can't wait to hear Yoda do a chat-up line with his
Instead of-
signature Yoda speech.
So instead of being Yoda I am, fight I will. Yoda I am, fight I will. Something fucking stupid. So I've got Forbes up here. Rumours are already sloshing about the internet that the next Star Wars series is apparently set several hundred years before the Skywalker saga in a period of the Republic referred to as the High Republic. Still over 3,000 years after the events of Star Wars The Old Republic, and around 3,500 years after the events of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. So I think people wanted the Old Republic or the Knights of the Old Republic because that's like Jedi are a massive thing.
Yeah, and the video games have done incredibly well.
Yeah.
And it's a part of time that the fans love and has been asked for ages.
See, I thought the Old Republic was with clones and stuff, but obviously not. Unless the armies just look similar to the clones. If I type the Old Republic.
But yeah, could be interesting.
No, it's just armies of people, but then there's just a lot more people with lightsabers.
I mean, I don't know who's. I also actually the other thing I heard about this new Star Wars film is it might not be a trilogy. It might just be a series of films.
Yeah, I heard they're gonna. I watched a video today from What Culture, which
Oh, yeah.
is a UK-based YouTube channel, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
And they were talking about it, and they think, or they said that it's going to be like an MCUification of Star Wars, which I'm half okay with, and then half not, because Star Wars is supposed to be, because they're going to do like solo films and then have like a team up event movie. But Star Wars, when you think of Star Wars, it's like it is an event movie in itself, in it. That you,
Yeah. And also with that film, I mean, obviously you can have a young Yoda, you can have a young Palpatine, but
No, he can't. 400 years, he's only human, isn't he? How old is Hey Google, how old's Palpatine in Star Wars Episode 1?
Even Google doesn't know.
No, even Google doesn't. Let me try again. Hey Google, how old is Palpatine in Star Wars Episode 1, Phantom Menace?
On the website express.co.uk, they say, the 75-year-old first played Darth Sidious in Return of the Jedi and the remastered version of The Empire Strikes Back before returning for the prequel trilogy and now The Rise of Skywalker.
So, spoilers for Rise of Skywalker. The actor was 75. I don't know how old the Star Wars character was. I'm not looking all over Wikipedia.
However, but would his age matter too much? Because as he said himself, the dark side opens doors to many abilities people consider unnatural.
Unnatural.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think you could get around that. You could potentially do a young Darth Maul. I don't think Darth Maul's that old, but you could.
They've already done the young Darth Maul in comics, linking in with the Clone Wars, I think. He's got like a mad backstory, and it's like really.
The thing is, again, it's another prequel. Is that for me, like, because you know everything that's happening after these series of films, it's going to have the problem of that all the characters are dead and stuff like that, and you can do a good story.
It's like,
especially if Yoda is a key point, you know exactly the story Yoda is going to grow up to become.
Yeah, you know what Yoda's going to end up like in 400 years. 500 years if you include, obviously, Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
And by fact they're going to reference them anyway, so they're going to link in somehow this prophecy. I can see it now. At the end of the film, someone's going to say, "I've read of a prophecy of a Jedi that brings balance to the Force."
But also as well,
That's something ridiculous.
You have another problem in the fact of you could do big events in this new series, but if you do anything too big, you're going to get the obvious question of how come that wasn't referenced in any of the nine main movies or other films since.
A whole solar system gets destroyed by one man using the Force.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was mentioned. What's that woman says? That woman says in Star Wars Episode 2 to Obi-Wan Kenobi in the library. It's like, if it's not in the archive, it never existed, or something ridiculous.
But not only that as well. I think the other thing you've got to remember is this film series as well. Like, as much as you can rewrite things, it's not too big a deal. But even in the I think it's Episode 1, they say Yoda and Mace Windu say the Sith haven't been seen or haven't been around for millennium, and obviously they're wrong because Palpatine's.
Yeah, because a millennia's obviously 1,000 years, and this is set 400 years, and apparently the Sith are supposed to be a thing.
But the fact they're making a film, something's got to happen major.
Yeah.
So why would... I mean, at the very least, you can understand some characters not remembering things. And 400 years is a long time, but Yoda is obviously going to remember it.
Yoda's like 900... God. Yoda's like going to be like 400, 500 years old in these new films. And currently Yoda's like 995 or something when he dies. That number stands out to me, and I don't know if that's because of the age of the Doctor or if that's the age of Yoda.
We'll just do a collab, maybe. Maybe Yoda's young years were as a companion to the Doctor. But
it's a linked universe. Oh my god! I bet there's a female Yoda.
There is. In fact, there is. Now there's technically been 3 of Yoda's species appearing.
Yeah, but Yoggle
is
he a woman?
Is she maybe?
Don't know who's going to know the answer to this. Hey Google, is Yoggle a woman?
My apologies. I
Not
don't
even
understand.
Google knows.
No one knows.
Oh, my watch has just gone. Hello.
But if not a woman, definitely looks like it could be.
Yeah. But yeah, they're going to have to make...
Is Baby Yoda a woman?
Nobody knows. It's
Nobody
not
knows.
called Baby Yoda, it's called the child.
The child.
Anyway, right, we're going to move on. Oh, yeah. You got anything else?
No, I'm good.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing we could briefly mention is just that Hulk and Namor are now back in Marvel's
Yeah,
full hands.
nothing else you can really say about that, is there? Like
Nothing
one of
else. Might be a hopeful
them Marco Flow and Kevin Feige have
The only-
spoke.
the only
about
thing
what
is-
they wanted to make a film about.
You'd assume that the Fantastic Four film that must be on the horizon would have Doctor Doom as the main villain, but Namor was famously a main villain in Fantastic Four's early days.
Is he?
Yeah, he used to have a crush, and I don't know if they ever had a fling or anything, but he used to have a crush on Susan Storm.
Isn't he more like a anti-villain, anti-hero?
Yeah, he is a bit, because obviously he's very much like he looks after his own underwater world for human Earth, and most of the stories about someone's done something to piss him off, and he's like threatening to wipe the world out.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the most exciting character really. I don't care too
I
much.
mean,
about
I've heard that they won't make a solo film because of the success of Aquaman.
Yeah, it's very much
But like
Aquaman's been there first. There's potential. I think there's potential, especially.
Point Break was successful, and they made Fast and the Furious.
But I think it's more potential. He is very much linked in with the Fantastic Four history, and so I could see him appearing more in those films.
He's got a massive fan base. Do you think he's just going to get killed off in the first Fantastic Four film? Because if it's anything like Fantastic Four film, if it's anything like the old Fantastic Four films, the villain dies all the time. Or at least he's brought back in the next one and then killed again.
I don't think he'd be the main villain. I think there could be he could be a big character. And he could maybe get
Like Claw was.
accidentally led into something. I mean, you'd assume Doctor Doom would be the main villain. I mean,
You'd assume, but Doctor Doom is such a big villain that he could be a villain to anything.
but Hulk is more likely to have his own film.
Yeah.
And for me personally, I wasn't the biggest fan of Smart Hulk. I would quite like to see the Hulk back as the Raging Monster.
And then
Whether they do that,
And then they'd need an excuse to bring Wolverine in to kill him.
a Wolverine versus Hulk film would be worth seeing. I think.
Yep.
There's many things they could
It'll
do.
be smashing.
Dear me.
Right. Our main topic of the day kind of lines up with the High Republic that we've just been speaking about, and with the release of Rise of Skywalker last month. We're going to talk about the prequels and decide which one is the best.
Which should be an obvious.
This is an obvious, so we're going to decide which
There may
one's...
be some surprises.
We're going to decide which one's second best, which is again not really that obvious, I suppose.
It's a little bit more up for debate, maybe.
So we'll start with episode 1, The Phantom Menace. I rewatched it recently. Have you watched it? When was the last time you watched it?
When was the last time I watched it? I can't remember when the last time I watched it was, but I do remember as just a little off story from my life. I'm 24 now, but when I was a younger man,
Young man. Nothing held back.
nothing held back.
You fight like a younger man. Nothing
When I
held
was-
back.
When I was my own version of the Baby Yoda, I remember we used to have one of the few, but when DVDs were still a thing, we used to
DVDs
have.
are still a thing.
No, but when they were before
The thing.
the age of online, we used to have a DVD of the Phantom Menace, and I'm not sure if we had the other Star Wars films on DVD at the time. For some reason, we just had Phantom Menace, and so that got a lot of rewatch. So although I haven't watched it recently, I feel like of the 3 prequel films, I've probably seen the Phantom Menace the most times.
I've only
So
got
pray
notes
for
the
me,
second-
guys.
I've only got notes for the second 2 because it was only my idea to do this as a topic before I started watching the second one.
I feel
But-
like as well with the Phantom Menace, as with most of the prequels, that even if you've only watched it once or you've only watched it, the last time you watched it was a while ago, there's so much that gets scarred into your brain as being everything that's wrong with Star Wars that you can remember most
And
of it
'cause-
fairly well.
Next to nothing happens. There's not a lot to remember. You got Jar Jar Binks.
So how do we want to do this? Do we want to list pros and cons?
Let's just go through the film.
Go through the
You
film,
ready?
okay.
Right. So the film opens
Now this is, just
with
before we
a
start, the
view of
film I think,
space.
the film's opening isn't too bad.
No, the film itself is paced actually quite good. Like I rewatched it, and my takeaway was it's got 3 bad things: CGI, acting, and Jar Jar Binks. There's a few scenes of Jar Jar Binks that you kind of go, all right, whatever, and there's some scenes you just like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, there's too much of him.
Like it opens up with the donut Trade Federation ship. They're going to the Trade Federation. The Jedi going to the Trade Federation ship as Palpatine's. Not Palpatine. Sorry, it's the Chancellor's representatives.
Yeah, or they're representing someone. They're going there to do peace talks.
Peace talks with the Trade Federation.
Now, one thing I will say is, obviously, the opening crawls are never the most exciting bit of the Star Wars, and some of them are a bit bland, and there's very different. But when you watch The Phantom Menace, bearing in mind this is a lot of people's first taste of Star Wars. When I was a kid, it was my first taste of Star Wars. There's many kids' first taste of Star Wars, and in the opening crawl, it's talking. It says stuff like this trade organisation has done a blockade of Naboo and there's trade talks and stuff. And as a kid, you must read that if you can read that. It was like, Jesus
I could
Christ.
never keep up with the crawl as a kid.
No, but if you read the crawl for The Phantom Menace, it sounds very boring. So that's not a good first start.
No.
But, yeah.
So they start off in the ship. They get gassed.
Bearing in mind the ship at the time as well, is the ship is blocking anything from getting into Naboo. And so, obviously, there's like a stalemate, Naboo worried, and so the Jedi have gone to try and resolve things. So, and bearing in mind, they're supposed to resolve things diplomatically first.
Because they're Jedis. And they do try to resolve things diplomatically, but they get ambushed, quotation finger mark thingies, by a couple of droids. They kill them, and then you see Force run for the first and only time in this film as well. So stabs a door, and he's like trying to get through this door. He's like, "Where's the blast shields?" And then thicker doors close on this. So thicker doors close on this already normal door, and Qui-Gon's like, pushes harder, and it looked like a practical door. Looked like a real door. It might have been a real door. I imagine it was like a real door with a hole in it.
Potentially, maybe.
Yeah. So it starts crumbling away, and droidekas turn up, and they go, and Obi-Wan turns around and goes, "Destroyers!" And they go, "Quick, run away!" And like,
then they force
run for the first time. Obviously, in Star Wars Battlefront 2 on PlayStation 2, 2005. When you run as a Jedi, you run extra fast. So other than that scene, that's the only place I remember it showing up. I just turned power saving on me. No, actually, no. I just turn my brightness down. My phone's dying. It's got all my notes on it. So they run away, and then they what? I can't even remember. They fight their way through, and then you have to stow away on a ship to go down to Naboo because the Trade Federation invades the most boring planet in the Star Wars mythos, Naboo, because it's just green. And then it goes from there. They bump into Jar Jar Binks, who is this bumbling idiot. I'm struggling because I can't really remember because I've got notes and everything else.
They bump into Jar Jar Binks, and then Jar Jar tells them he has a place they can hide.
Yeah, Jar Jar tells them they have a place they can hide, which is the Gungan place underwater. So they go there.
But then they realise Jar Jar Binks is hated even amongst his own people.
So then they have to leave. And then they get attacked by a fish, which gets attacked by a bigger fish. Qui-Gon says the very famous line of, "There's always a bigger fish," which is almost true. I mean, there's nothing bigger than a blue whale, but it's technically a fish.
Isn't. No, whales are mammals, aren't they? So.
Yeah. Anyway, and then there's a lot of walking and talking. And
there's big gaps of stuff where I'm not sure what's happened, which I'm sure they did definitely go into detail over and over again.
And then I remember there's a bit where they're leaving Naboo with the Queen in that big red spaceship, which I always wanted a Lego set of. I could never afford it. I can't remember what it's called, but they're leaving Naboo in the cruiser, and then a hole gets blown in the top, and all the astro droids get sent up. And this is how R2-D2 is introduced as a character. So they stood lasering away at this hole in the roof of this ship. It might not even be... No, the red one's the one that gets blown up at the beginning. Because the guy goes, "Captain, look!" And they look and then it gets blown up. And then they... it's like one of those big reflective mirror ships. Yeah. I remember. So they're leaving Naboo. A hole gets blown in the top of this spaceship. All the astro droids try to fix it. They all die apart from one. Turns out to be
Of
R2D2.
course.
He comes down. They commend him, and then they have to go to Tatooine because they haven't got a hyperspeed battery or generator or something. So they go there, which is where they meet everyone's favourite character, Watto, the second fully CGI character and the second most annoying fully CGI character, considering there's only two main ones anyway.
Phantom Menace.
Yeah, there's other than all the Gungans, there's just him.
No, you're forgetting the pod race scene.
No, yeah,
Jabba.
he's not really.
I guess he's not there.
No, he shows up and goes, "Start the race" in his
What were the other?
language.
The one that's the bad pod, the rival pod race.
Yeah, but again, I mean, like a proper character. This guy's almost like, actually, yeah, I suppose he's the side character. Anyway, so they talk to Watto, and he's like, he has to bet.
Oh
with
wait,
Watto.
you're missing a key scene though. You're missing.
Yeah, he's like,
No,
he
you're
tries
missing, you're missing a key bit.
he tries
the
to.
introduction of Anakin.
Oh, Anakin's there.
But how do they meet? Do you remember how they meet?
He just walks in.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he just walks in.
But why there? I'm trying to remember. Like, what was the point where Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan have to go to?
I can't remember. They have to go there, and when they go to this shop, it's like, "You're the only place in the whole of the planet with this thing you need." So they get this. So in order to buy this thing, they don't have the money for it. It's like, you will take Republic credits. No! Jedi Matrix do not work on my kind, or whatever.
Yeah, indeed.
And then he's like, you will take Republican
Republic
credits. No!
I won't. I remember. But you've also got. There's loads of key moments at that point, I think, that come back later because you've got the fact that
They go for dinner before the pod race. The day before the pod race, they go for dinner at Anakin's house because there's a sandstorm.
They have to stay somewhere. Don't they? That's true.
Yeah, and that's when you meet Shmi, which is Anakin's mum,
And C-3PO.
and C-3PO, who is unfinished and just like a humanoid wire thing, isn't he? He's practical. He's not CGI.
Yeah.
This is the most practical film of the prequels. Like, the buildings and that.
You also have the famous
Are
thing
real
where
buildings.
the big thing that is very appealing about Anakin is at that point he's young and naive, but he dreams to be a Jedi, and he says the famous line of
One day I'm going to be the greatest pod racer in the whole of the planet.
no, but he says about the line about when he's speaking to Qui-Gon or something. He says like nothing can kill a Jedi, I believe, and then he's obviously responsible for the most deaths of Jedis.
Yeah, 'cause he says that. He says, nothing can kill a Jedi. Not only does he say it not knowing that he's going to be the one that kills more Jedis than anybody else, but he's saying it to somebody who is the first Jedi to share the ability to become a Force Ghost. Which I'm just kind of...
No, that's true, yeah. I didn't think about that. And also a Jedi that dies in that very film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of almost foreshadowing. And then...
Now, I can't remember if it's before the pod race or if it's the pod race is the main thing that cements it in Qui-Gon's mind, but they obviously realise that Anakin's incredibly gifted because I remember the pod race.
It's like, I'm the only human that can do it. And he's like, oh, you must have Jedi reflexes. And then it's like, later on he's like, oh, he's a great kid, I want to take him with me. But
don't they say it in the course, I may be misremembering this, but they say that no human could have completed that pod race course.
Yeah.
Like, the fact he's done it means he definitely has.
Yeah. And then he takes a blood sample. Let's talk about the pod race. Because
the pod race is a very good scene in that film.
It is a good film. It is a good scene. That I've spoke to people like from work who were one in particular who was a massive Star Wars fan. I just people if they're a massive Star Wars fan that didn't like The Force Awakens.
I see.
So and he said he didn't like the pod race scene. He said it was a bit meh.
See, I like the pod race scene because there's stakes to it, and it's in a way I could see why it's a bit cartoonish because you've obviously got the bit right at the beginning where he rigs the the pod racer, so you know there's going to be some drama.
Yeah.
But then the race goes on, and they could have made it. And I feel like if it was a film coming out now, they would have done this. They could have made it very quick.
It's
actually quite a long scene. Like there's a lot of racing in it.
It's got some of the best
And there is some
CGI work
stakes.
in the prequels as well. Like when some of those pod races crash, it looks really good.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, yeah, so that scene itself's a solid scene, isn't it? Like it's got action, it's got tension, it's got
I think it's one of the better scenes
space
from that
cars
film.
racing. Yeah, but it's the second best scene, I'd say. And then after the race is over, he takes Anakin, and Anakin cries, or his actor tries to cry, to say about goodbye to Shmi, and then they, because up to this point the film hasn't really stopped. Like,
No, that's true.
they got to the Trade Federation ship. They've killed some droids. They've escaped the Trade Federation ship. They've escaped platoons on Naboo from droids and MTTs and stuff, and AATs. And then they've got to see the Gungans, and then they've got off the planet, and then they've gone to Tatooine and met Watto and Anakin, and then they've a little bit of a slow pit, and then they've had a pod race. So it's literally all been. This is what I mean. The pace isn't that bad. It's just the acting, and most of the CGI. But as a kid, you just want to see Star Wars lightsaber battles, but you don't.
And then they go to. Do they go to? No, they don't. Do they leave?
Where do they go? They go.
Because obviously they win the parts,
They're in the parts they
and
need.
they can take Anakin.
Oh,
with them.
on the way back to the ship, Darth Maul turns up on his
Yes,
speeder
of
bike
course,
and fights
yeah.
Qui-Gon Jinn for like 30 seconds. And Qui-Gon Jinn's like... like he's sweating and stuff. And then they go to the Jedi Council and he's like, I want to train Anakin. And they're like, no, he's too old. And
Well, that's true. Yeah. Yes.
then they go back to Naboo because the Queen... there's a Senate meeting, isn't there? And in this Senate meeting, Queen Amidala's not happy, so she goes back to Naboo.
No. You're missing a key bit though, because
Am I?
because I remember there's that. It's a little bit stupid, but there's the whole thing where they're getting hot because they've taken the Queen. Did they know it's the Queen at the point? I'm not sure.
No, they take Padme with them on Tatooine, but they don't know that Padme is the Queen.
But then there's a bit though where they say that. Oh, it must be later then when they say that they get holograms where they're massacring all of us. They'll only stop if you come back.
Yeah.
Is that later?
That's just after they get off Tatooine.
Ah,
yeah.
fair enough.
No, you stop the people dying. Come back and help us.
And then they're like, it's definitely a trap.
Yeah.
And surprise, it was.
Yeah. And then they go. So there's like talking on Coruscant, which we get told is just one big city, and the planet's just a city. And then they go back to Naboo, kill some droids. All I remember is they go back to Naboo, they kill some droids, they rescue some pilots, and then all the pilots kill themselves by going up and fighting the Trade Federation. And Anakin accidentally gets in a ship and turns autopilot
Oh,
on.
he does, doesn't he? That's true. That's how they defeat the Trade Federation. Yeah, he's in the ship, doesn't he? He accidentally switches it on and then just rides around the ship from the inside.
Yeah.
Destroy
Accidentally kills everything.
kills all of them.
And then...
His first taste of death. And he got a lust for it, like...
Yeah, and then in... but at the same time, it's happening parallel to the Star Wars, to the Darth Maul duel, isn't it? No.
It is. It is. And also, you've got the battle on Naboo with the force field and
Yeah, one of my favourite scenes is...
the robots coming through
With
the droids.
No, when the MTTs all line up on the planet, on the hills, and then you unload the droids. Another Lego set that I really wanted that I couldn't afford.
Yeah.
Because it came with like 30 droids. It was like...
Yeah, that was impressive.
And it was like, falls out, big thing comes out and it like drops loads of droids out, like... And it's like... And it's like...
See, I feel like that scene's quite good as well for the sense of threat because... See, for that bit, the force field scene, like, that's one of the scenes that's probably more mocked in the first film, because obviously a lot of the force field battles focused on Jar Jar, obviously sort of bumbling his way to victory. But it is quite good for the droids, because the film, obviously, the Star Wars prequels especially, do a very good job of making the Separatist droids seem very weak. As in, like, they go down so easy. Like,
They go down really easily, but they win that battle.
But in that scene, though, you get a sense that their threat isn't necessarily in their strength, but their sheer numbers.
Yeah,
like, there's so many droids. Like, especially when they get unpacked from the ship and you go, oh wait, those ships have like a lot of droids in each
because
one.
at this point in the film, I don't think you've seen any of these MTTs actually unload any. Because MTT stands for multi-troop transport.
Mm.
And obviously, I don't think you've.
No, I think that's like a reveal, because don't they say something like it's not too bad? Like, it looks manageable, like it's not a huge amount, and then suddenly it's like
and then like
massively
looks
increased.
at the Gungan looks at Jar Jar and is like, ouch time. Fuck off. Anyway, so the droids win that battle, but they only just actually they lose the battle. No, they win the battle, but then Anakin destroys the Trade Federation ship, which shuts down all the droids.
Deactivates them, yeah. Before it gets to
while all this is going on, the best part of the film, which you're like, come on,
proper.
I want to see this bit, but it keeps cutting away from it, is the Obi-Wan Qui-Gon versus Darth Maul, which is basically them chasing him. When you think about it, chasing to that room, don't they? Essentially.
But even think that one of the best bits, it starts off so cool, because you've got Darth Maul walks into the room,
spins his lightsaber around, puts it out in front of him,
and it becomes double.
And they're like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So they fight him. Qui-Gon dies. I like the scene shows the differences between the Jedi's and the Sith. It's like with the ray shields. Obviously, Qui-Gon sits down to meditate, doesn't he? So he's meditating.
Whereas Darth Maul is seething.
Darth Maul's walking up, like pacing, and he's hitting the shield, trying to be menacing and stuff. And he's like, they fight. Obi-Wan runs, gets to the last ray shield, it shuts.
Yeah.
And then this time, obviously, he kills him. But when I was watching it, obviously re-watching it for the first time in years, it's almost out of nowhere. Like he's just dead. Mm. It's like battle, punch, swing, dead.
Because
like,
you wouldn't.
Oh wow.
There's nothing even. Because often when you see these fights where a hero does lose to a villain, like they've lost, but it's almost unfair. Like there's something that distracts the hero, or like, they've not just been bested by the villain was better. It's like something had to happen for the villain to be able to win. The villain didn't just win on their own merit. But from what I remember, Qui-Gon didn't have any of that. Qui-Gon just lost.
No, the only sort. I mean, you could kind of say it was a distraction, but he hits him in the face with the hilt of his lightsaber, knocking him back. To which he spins around and then just stabs behind him and stabs him in the stomach. And then Obi-Wan goes, "No!" Which is the first time in the prequels we hear "No!" He did it better than Darth Vader in Episode 3.
And he kicks him down the shaft.
And then
it's a brutal murder.
And then, so it's like Darth Maul approaches the ray shield, and this time, wrong one. Yeah, so I have to run off. I'll be back in a second.
Yeah.
Right, sorry. Yeah, so Darth Maul approaches the ray shield, and Obi-Wan. This time, like obviously last time he was at the ray shield, Qui-Gon Jinn was chillaxing, meditating, and this time around, Obi-Wan Kenobi's pacing, and when the ray shield goes, he just bursts out, doesn't he? Like he just dives at him with. It's like like slicing and it's like super fast. It's that one bit I really like where it's like boom, boom. It's like deflects one in front of him. Then deflects one straight behind him straight away.
The classic Obi-Wan pose, really. Isn't it?
Yeah, super cool. And then he cuts his lightsaber in half. So he only has a single blade lightsaber, and then he kicks Obi-Wan Kenobi down the hole, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
Yeah, and then he's like pacing, trying to scare him off the edge by slicing the top of the thing, and then Obi-Wan Kenobi jumps up, force grabs Qui-Gon Jinn's lightsaber, lands in front of him, cuts him in half.
I've never actually thought of this as well, but in a way as well, obviously Darth Maul kind of beats Obi-Wan at first as well. Like he kicks him down the shaft. Like so, it shows Darth Maul's power. I mean, he's beaten, Qui-Gon, one of the best Jedi's at that point. And Obi-Wan at the point is in training, but kind of he only ever actually gets the upper hand and he only wins and comes out strong because he's lent a little bit into the dark side, as in, like, he's angry at that point, isn't he? Like, he's upset, like, he's raging. Like, Qui-Gon wouldn't have necessarily been happy with that performance because obviously Qui-Gon would have been like, don't let the rage consume you, whatever. And it doesn't completely with Obi-Wan, but obviously he sees his mentor be killed and he screams no, and obviously he's high on emotion, which would be the path to the dark side, wouldn't it? So I only thought about that just now.
Yeah.
But it did sort of tap in a little bit somewhat to...
Yeah, in many ways it almost parallels the end of Revenge of the Sith. Only he doesn't get cut down, he doesn't lose his legs and an arm.
No.
So, it wraps up with a ceremony and a burial. Well, they all just stand in a room while Qui-Gon's body burns.
Don't remember that so
Yeah.
Is it on that bit?
Yeah. So that might be what a Naboo funeral is.
Maybe.
I mean, it's not in Revenge of the Sith. I can't remember what the funeral's like in Revenge of the Sith. I just wrote funeral down. Anyway, let's go on to the better of the first two films. Attack of the Clones. Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. First thing I notice, Obi-Wan Kenobi's got much better hair this time around. He's got his lovely luscious locks of blondie, brunetti beautifulness with his facial beard. And
I'm trying to remember how the film opens.
I don't know.
I know there's a ship that explodes straight near the beginning.
Queen Amidala lands on Coruscant, and as she lands, the plane explodes. Turns out it was a decoy, and Padme's actually fine. And then they're in a room, and she doesn't want protection, but she's getting it anyway. And a bounty hunter lets alien worms into her bedroom while she's asleep.
Yeah.
And Anakin looks away and Obi-Wan's like, I sense it too. And they run in and Anakin Skywalker jumps up and he cuts them both down.
They only just
and then
saved their lives,
as the droid that did this worm thing flies off, Obi-Wan jumps out and grabs onto the droid, flies off.
Yeah, and then you've got a chase quite near the beginning of that film.
Yeah.
And then, because I can't remember too much, but there's a chase. Does the chase happen first, or does the chase happen after they're walking around trying to find?
Chase happens first, because
so
that droid gets shot.
Sticks happens after.
You want to buy some death sticks? You don't want to sell me death sticks. I don't want to sell you death sticks. You want to go home and rethink your life. I want to go home and rethink my life. Yeah. So he's on this droid thing, hanging for his life, and he gets shot down by. What's she called?
Zam Weasel.
Who?
Zam Weasel, I think.
Zam Weasel.
Yeah, something. It's a very minor character in the overall.
Yeah.
Don't know why they didn't just stick with Django. Oh, in fact, I do know why. Because Django kills her.
Yeah, Django does kill her after the chase. So he's falling. Anakin Skywalker. He's fallen for ages. Anakin Skywalker gets in a speeder, and then catches him, and he's like, "Took your time." He's like, "Sorry, master. I didn't find the speeder all right. One that has an open roof and the speed capacity or something." And like, so that's how he's going to talk all film. Okay. And the chase it's not as good as the pod race, but you can kind of see they were going for a similar thing.
Yeah, vibe.
And it's like the bad guy goes one way and then he goes another way. It's like, what are you doing? He went that way. And he's like, as much as I do want to catch the person who just tried to kill Queen Amidala and whatever, besides, this is a shortcut, I think. and then he's like, I'm so sorry, master. He's like, you clearly went that way. He just 1 second and just jumps off the speeder.
See, one thing that the prequels do quite a decent thing is they do make out that they give them the differences. It's not just two, especially in episodes 2 and 3 where Obi-Wan and Anakin are very similar. They are different enough, like they've got their own perks. So like Anakin is always the better pilot.
Yeah.
Like he's more headstrong and he, perhaps not the best fighter of the two, but he's always the best pilot. Like, and it obviously it shows a lot. I mean, all the flight scenes it's him coming out on top, and he looks like he is. It looks like he's got a different. Like if Obi-Wan is not got the same way of thinking as Anakin, and Anakin is very much like he will do things that Obi-Wan wouldn't consider in a million years. To
like jumping out of a speeder.
And that's why. And he's his ability over a craft is so good. So I do like the fact that they do emphasise the differences. So it's not just you thinking, why is there two of them? Like there is enough differences that you get the sense that when they've, because in part 2 in the Clone Wars even they Attack of the Clones even not bad in Attack of the Clones they talk about like off screen loads of like adventures that you haven't seen, but you get the feeling like the pairing's so good that you've got Anakin's like the different way of thinking and the pilot skills and all this, and Obi-Wan's very much more tries.
So he lands on her speeder, stabs it with a lightsaber,
yes.
crashes. Have I got that on here? No, I've got the costumes are always on point. I suppose they always are.
Yeah.
And some green screening is poor, but that's not to be sport at this point. So then they run into this bar, which we get the infamous Diff Sticks.
Diff Sticks, yeah.
Scene, and then Obi-Wan, right at the bar, just turns around and slices and nearly kills the bounty hunter. They take the bounty hunter outside. It's like, Anakin's like, Jedi business, carry on with your drinks. They go outside, go out on the floor and they're like, who hired you? And he goes, it's a bounty hunter called.
And then she
gets
yeah.
And then you see Jango Fett fly away.
Yeah.
The first time you see, is that the first time, or you kind of? It's the first time you see Jango Fett properly.
Yeah, and do anything of significance.
So Obi-Wan's got this tank dart, and Anakin goes off with Padme to protect her. So let's go through my notes, shall we?
Let's go through your notes.
We meet Dex.
And
I've put here, CGI characters like Dex are poor when stood side by side with real people or when interacting with real objects.
Yeah.
He looks good.
Yeah.
Standing
He's iconic
in a CGI
cafe.
cafe. And when a CGI robot goes past him, he looks good. The CGI robot looks good. But as soon as he stood next to an actual human,
Ewan McGregor, yeah.
it looks stupid. And when he gets given that thing, it kind of like floats onto his hand a little bit. Too light. And he's like, it's one of those Camino dots. Anyway.
Yeah, Obi-Wan starts his tour of CGI characters.
Yeah, so he gets told.
The thing with Dexter at that point, though, Dexter, the thing, just to interject, just in case if I get to mention it later, is the thing about him, he sums up the whole thing about the overuse of CGI, because for that scene, isn't it, for such a short bit, it's such a small scene, the character's not important in any other sense. They could have either done him as a practical. It wouldn't have been the hardest thing. He's got extra arms, but that's the only issue. Like, you could have done a practical costume.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, you didn't even need to have him with 4 arms. You could have designed him anyway. He could have been another human being if you'd wanted, or he could have been any other alien with practical effects. You could have had him look like Jabba. You could have had him look like a humanoid alien. You could have had him look whatever you wanted on practical effects. If you want, you could have had him as some alien we've seen before. I'm trying to think of a practical alien we've seen before, but you could have had him literally as anything.
That Jedi.
And not only that, remember as well,
Cocoon kind of alien.
it's not cheap CGI, so they've just spent a load of budget on a scene. And as I was saying, like, yeah, he looks alright, he's pretty cool, but you could have avoided it. Like, there was no need for him to be an alien, and if you wanted him as an alien, there was no need to have him as not a practical alien. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, you could say the same with other characters. You could say the same with the Caminos, but
at least they've
got
a bit.
Yeah, at least there's more of a point. But with Dexter, he's literally just one character who's he doesn't come back in that film, I don't think, and he doesn't come back in the next film. So he's literally in that. And I remember from that
Where's
scene,
the money?
It's such a short scene as well.
So, at this point, Anakin's gone off to... Anyway, then I've got... library woman... Oh, yeah, so he tells Obi-Wan Kenobi...
So, yeah, for example, the library woman's a real human.
She's a Jedi as well, by the way.
Jedi. Yeah.
Dex tells Obi-Wan Kenobi about the planet Kamino, which is where he needs to go to find out where this dark comes from. So he goes to the Jedi... begins with an A.
Archives.
Jedi Council archives to find out about the planet Kamino. It doesn't exist. And I've got here, library woman is super rude. Do you have a problem, Master Kenobi?
Well, in fact, actually...
Yeah, so he does have a problem. You're right. You're not wrong. He goes to talk to Yoda.
He does. I was just going to say.
Goes to talk to Yoda, which is his second CGI character in 3 scenes.
Yes. I was going to say, though,
but
about that.
I actually didn't write that down, because I just remembered that.
He has a bad time. For a Jedi Master, they're always so highly revered in the Star Wars films. Like, it's the elite best you can get. Anakin strives for that all the time. Here's it. He goes to the Jedi Temple, and he gets harassed by an old librarian, and then he gets mocked by kids.
By kids and Yoda.
Yoda deliberately makes an example out of...
Lost this planet. How embarrassing.
So he's not had a good time on this in the temple.
So yeah, so he goes to Kamino, and all this time, Anakin and Padme and R2D2 are in transit to Naboo, the most boring planet in Star Wars mythos.
And there's a lot of desert planets in the Star Wars.
And he tells, I've put here, Padme clearly gets put off when Anakin mentions seeing her looking beautiful in his dreams. Which, yeah. Now, Obi-Wan Kenobi has 2 scenes with fully CGI characters within 3 scenes. That's wrong. He has 3 scenes within 4 scenes of fully CGI characters. Because even Jango Fett is CGI when in costume. Or at least he is in the battle at the end. Don't know if he is. And obviously when he's flying through the air and that he is.
And obviously the Caminos are.
And the Caminos are. We go back to the most boring planet in Star Wars mythos, which is Naboo. Kamino is at least 95% CGI. Like at first, obviously it needs to be when you see it from a distance, and it's just like loads of platforms in the sea and there's rain. But then when he lands on it and he goes inside, it's all CGI, like all of it. And then soup spoon seat comes from the ceiling. More like a ladle, I suppose. But
yeah, I remember what you mean now.
And he sits on it for the sake of it being there. He sits on it for like 5 minutes.
Take a seat, yeah.
Yeah. Anakin and Padme kiss on a balcony. I've put here, their kiss is super awkward. And back on Kamino, they're talking about the clones, and he's like, I do not know of no clones. Hello there. I do not know of no clones. Armies.
Who's this?
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh.
So...
But they have that whole thing, don't they, where a Jedi was sent to commission them to do the clone army.
Yeah.
But no...
Well, that guy's dead.
Yeah.
And they didn't know this happened.
Yeah, he's been dead for ages or something, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's died 10 years ago. Or something. And then... so, Obi-Wan Kenobi sees the clones being made, and you see like 2 clones, like 2 young clones, obviously not quite fully ready, next to each other, and that looks really good. Like they look bang on like each other. And then he goes to his Jedi Starfighter and speaks to Mace Windu and Yoda about these clones, and they're like, we do not know, and they don't have access to the clones unless Chancellor Palpatine gets emergency powers to commission the clones or to allow the clone army to be a part of the Republic. So they're just there, I guess.
You'd think as well there's some very strong suspicions that like the Jedi that commissioned him died ages ago. The other Jedis have no clue about it. They still just go, yeah, must be fine.
Well,
military being built in secret. Kamino's disappeared off the maps.
Yeah.
But fine. No one's ever heard of this before. So
So,
didn't realise this, but it's the first film that starts a trend that appears later on of planets going missing in Star Wars. Because Camino went missing, and then obviously you had Luke's planet went missing, and then the Sith planet's missing in the most recent film.
oh yeah.
So
First kiss super awkward. Cloning / copying of real people is on point. The clone army scene, you see him all walking briefly. Like, I think that's really cool. It's very brief, but it's really, really cool. And I've just brought fucking CGI bull surfing.
oh
Do you know what part I'm on about?
I do.
The big bubble bull thing, like a bubbly bull.
yeah, with the Padme and Anakin.
And he's like,
Where did,
he's on top of it and he goes, whoa, 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 slides around, and then falls off and then gets trampled. And it's the first time that I think like the chemistry kind of shows a little bit. We're sort of like, oh my god, Anakin! And he's like laughing and turns around and he's like actually clearly, properly laughing. Like
yeah.
the first time and the last time I think he's actually properly laughing and like.
And then they immediately ruin it with a talk about politics, don't they?
Yeah. Let's sit and talk about politics for a bit. Obi-Wan Kenobi talks to Jango Fett about his mask on, which is against the Mandalorian way, or at least it is if this was after anyway. I put here the Jango Fett actor is wasted in this. He can genuinely act, and believe it or not, he can sing. He sings Moana, make way, Moana, it's time you knew. The village of Motunui is all you need. The dancers are practicing the dance to an ancient song.
So you said that Attack of the Clones is missing a song and dance number.
Yes.
By Jango Fett. With Dexter Jettster.
Obi-Wan, make way. The clone army will do what you say.
Yeah, good way.
Yeah. We see the lovely CGI pear eating scene,
Another iconic
which could easily be done practically.
Or not done at all.
Or not done at all. They could just be eating and talking like normal people do.
Indeed.
Anakin and Padme go to Tatooine to save his. Hang on. Anakin and Padme go to Palpatine. Anakin and Padme go to Tatooine, and his old slave master has sold his mother. Obviously, he's had a dream that his mum's dying or been killed or whatever. So we go back to Tatooine to find out that Watto has sold his mother.
We know as well that she must have definitely been sold for galactic credits because he doesn't take any other form.
No, he doesn't.
Does he?
No! If only we knew someone of power and wealth who could have stopped that from happening.
Don't we also know what Watto bought? That tin hat. He has a hat, doesn't he, in Attack of the Clones?
I don't know, does he?
I feel like he does, I might be wrong. But yeah, if only... this is the thing I pointed out to you, wasn't it? That she's obviously a royal. She's got incredible wealth and power. She could have gone back any time between episode 1 and episode 2 and bought Shmi from Watto. Shmi, sorry.
Shmi.
She didn't know, did she?
No.
Didn't even cross her
there
mind.
was... She's only been missing a month. I mean, she was married and stuff to... who's we call him? The Gadji who...
Oh, the Lars, isn't it?
Lars,
League Lars, is it?
Yeah, so obviously before then, that bit's fine. But before then, when Watto owned her, there's plenty of time. All of between episodes 1 and 2, pretty much.
Because obviously she's undercover when they first meet, so she couldn't have done it then. But then, after everything's happened, I mean, Anakin, I don't know how many years passed between the two, but obviously a few. Nothing happens in those years.
No.
Not once.
No. Cut back to Camino. Jango Fett and Obi-Wan Kenobi have a fight.
It's a good fight from what I remember.
It is actually pretty decent, yeah. Jango Fett basically beats Obi-Wan when they fight. Also, if you see the Jango Fett figure up there, both of them, Boba Fett, sorry. Jango Fett has a bump on his helmet. Boba Fett also has a bump on his helmet. But apparently there's different story behind that bump and this bump.
They're different characters.
They're different characters, but it kind of leads me to believe that that story's bullshit, and he's actually just wearing a repainted version of his dad's suit, or
where
at
did
least
he also
that's
get
what,
the costume
or at
from, I
least that
guess?
was the original idea.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
oh yeah. Also, he has a bump on his helmet suggesting that maybe Boba uses the same helmet because it's supposed to be his indestructible armor. And I'm pretty sure it happens in this scene, like he deflects a ball back at him or something.
Right.
And he's got a bump in his head.
And it would also make sense because where would Boba Fett get the armor from if
Yeah.
not?
Well, the Mandalorians, wouldn't he? He'll have been picked up by the Mandalorians if he is a proper Mandalorian. Which there's theories that he isn't a proper
Because
Mandalorian,
he's a clone.
but he is a Mandalorian apparently. Or at least we know him as the Mandalorian,
But-
a Mandalorian that way.
Obviously, we're going to get to this, but he obviously holds the helmet in his hand, so he's literally got
He's-
access to
yeah.
the armor. So
Yeah. Jango Fett's. Oh yeah.
we know how much Kylo Ren liked Darth Vader's helmet, so maybe it's the same.
Yeah, so he wins, he flies off, Obi-Wan Kenobi gets to his spaceship and follows them, and there's like a really cool chase scene through the asteroid belt.
Yes, yeah.
I put here, Jango Fett's bombs in the asteroid field sound and look awesome.
Okay.
When they explode, they go like, like a big blue wave, and it like destroys everything.
Okay.
Really cool. And Django's spaceship's guns sound cool as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, I can't remember what noise they make. We see C-3PO on Tatooine as Anakin gets to Shmi's house.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I just put here C-3PO sucks ass and is just a pun machine, which
He
he is.
is.
Turns out. So obviously we learned that the Tusken Raiders came and took Shmi. So I put here. Obviously it's before we find out that she's dead, but I wrote this. Tusken Raiders killed Anakin's mother, so he killed them like animals, but not just the men, but the women and the children too.
He did.
She was tied up. Defo Tusken sex slave. What else was she supposed to be? It's definitely a Tusken sex slave. Anyway.
Well, when you consider it as well, another point, they're on Tatooine, also where Jabba is, who also later keeps sex slaves of his own. So
Yeah. I put here the music and. I thought I was just dropping on the floor. The music, the tone, the scenery of the speeder bike drive to save his mother is spot on.
okay.
Have you seen it? I'll show you it later. But it's really cool. Like it's like sky, sand, and he's just like.
Yeah, just like where.
Yeah.
Would you say it's reminiscent of Darth Maul's in the first one?
No. That was like towards the camera, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He dives off. And then,
yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
Tusken Raiders kill scene is great, but too short. I kind of
It is
wish
short,
we
yeah.
saw him like kill loads of Tusken
Bullshit.
Raiders,
Yeah, a lot.
or at least a couple more. Because you see him, he goes out,
Just
cuts
the
two
text
down,
entrance, yeah.
and then
Just some
watches the
shadows
camera
and
and kills one,
Yeah.
and that's it. When the mother died, it is Hayden's best acting in the film. He looks sad, confused, and angry all at the same time. Maybe intentional, maybe not. It's Hayden. A lot of people say he can't act. I say he hasn't had a proper chance.
Yeah,
I think if you appear in, this is the last film he appeared in. No, it wasn't. Last film he appeared in was Jumper, I think. But if you appear in this and Jumper, which is only like meh at best, like it's.
Then again, no, he must have.
If you appear in a Star Wars film and get called a bad actor, you don't stand a chance.
No, I don't know if that's true because
not back in these days. This is 19.
But he must have gone to like, for example, when you think of the amount of films that have gone out, he must have an agent, and his agent must be finding him work, and like.
He's quit acting now.
I was like,
The only acting he's done recently is the one line in spoilers. The one line in Rise of Skywalker.
oh wow,
Yeah.
crazy.
But I just think he hasn't had a proper chance.
Maybe not.
Like-
Yeah, maybe not.
Blue Milk makes a cameo.
Oh yeah, would do.
Padme comes into the room where Anakin's fixing stuff. He's like, I'm like fixing things. Simple. No. Life feels so much simpler when you're fixing things. He walks in, she's got a tray, he's got like cups and a transparent glass of blue milk. This is the first time it sounds like the kid from episode 1. It's where he says, I should be all powerful, one day I will be. Because before the pod race in episode 1 he says like, I'll be the best pod racer of all time. or something. So yeah.
But again, no, he's right again. He does become the all-powerful.
The March of the Empire song that plays when he tells Padme that he's killed all the Tusken Raiders, not just the men, but the women and the children too. Slaughtered them like animals. They act like animals, so slaughtered them like animals. And then I've not wrote anything until the Geonosis. So Obi-Wan can't contact Coruscant because it's too far away, but you can contact Tatooine because it's closer.
Yes.
So then they tell the Jedi that Obi-Wan's trapped on Geonosis, and then
why did he get there again? Oh, because of
he followed Jango Fett.
Yeah.
And then
no, so like he gets kidnapped, doesn't it?
He gets kidnapped by Count Dooku pretty much straight away.
Oh yeah.
So I put anything. So so Padme's like, well, you're supposed to save me, so I'm gonna go save Obi-Wan, so you can come if you want. So obviously,
because Obi-Wan says, "Do not come here," did he?
Yeah. Everyone says don't, so she says, "Well, I'm going." So
you've got to follow me.
Yeah. Anyway, I put when Padme is wearing the white costume, you can see nipple shape, which isn't wrong. We meet Count Dooku for the first time and find out that he used to be Liam Neeson's master. Of course, I couldn't be bothered trying to figure out about Qui-Gon Jinn. He used to be Qui-Gon Jinn's master.
Yeah, and I think he himself was taught by Yoda.
Yeah.
I think he
mentions later on in the film when they're battling like Master Yoda. Yeah, you must learn, Apprentice Yoda, or something. Palpatine gets stage 2 of his plan to take over the galaxy by allowing the Clone Army to be a part of the Republic.
Yeah.
When on Geonosis, Anakin says, "Wait!" And looks about as if he can't. Like, they're running through a cave, and they stop, and Anakin goes, "Wait!" And as an audience, you can hear of these Geonosians climbing around.
Yeah.
Right behind him. It's like, there's no way you can't hear that. Like, you're supposed to be a Jedi.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Man up.
I mean, you can just sense stuff anyway, innit?
Wait, and looks about as if he can't hear the rather loud creatures behind them scaling the walls.
Yeah.
Yep. I completely forgot the factory scene at my own will, because C-3PO gets made into a droid and R2 can apparently fly, plus the CGI is at its worst.
It is a shock.
Almost like watching Space Jam, but with Star Wars characters.
It really is. It really is.
You got...
The thing is, you see that scene, it's in every cartoon. There's definitely been Looney Tunes episodes of it.
It looks like it could easily be a Mario level as well.
Yeah.
Like a 2D platform level.
100%. Especially, as well, what's the worst is when... is it Padme gets involved in it as well, and you see the real human on the CGI conveyor belt, and it... Oh.
Yeah, it's just bad. So they get captured after all that. They may as well just get captured before.
Yeah, they
could... Literally, instead of that scene, you could have Geonosians... Get surrounded by Geonosians and one of them take Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber off him and smash it. If you just
think of all the time on that conveyor belt scene, because it's fairly long. You said earlier you'd have preferred the Tusken Raider scene to be a bit longer.
Yeah.
Cut
make that shorter, make that longer. Yeah.
Exactly.
Easy. I put arena scene rocks, so they get captured. They go to that arena. They're like, "What are you doing here?" "I'm here to save you, master." And like, "Well, you're not doing a very good job, mate.
No.
You're supposed to be saving me, and you're in trouble as well."
Yeah.
So they're all tied up to rocks. Anakin turns into a bull tamer in this scene.
Yeah.
I think it's a similar bull to the one that the Mandalorian kills. Oh my gosh, you can't deny it. I think it's a similar bull to the one that the Mandalorian kills in episode 2. My notes here are all out of wax. I started writing things from memory, which you should never do. Large scale battle, loads of Jedi, cool CGI bullfight, and then the clone troopers rock up.
There's the big sort of spider skull creature.
Yeah, there's a spider thing which is from the same planet as blue woman that gets killed by clones in Star Wars Episode 3. I know this because of Star Wars Battlefront 2, the game.
You've got the lion creature.
Lion creature, which slices Padme in the back. It looks really good when that happens because it looks like it actually hit her.
It's not threatening. And then the bull. And then obviously
Anakin slows the bull down. He gets on his back with a chain. He's like, yeah.
Yeah, and then he uses the bull to like help. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the Jedi turn up. Oh no, because they're watching, and Count Dooku's like looking all smug, and then a purple lightsaber just appears in front of him.
Dooku.
And it's what does he say? Mace Windu, what does he say?
Oh, I can't remember what he says. It's something quite good though.
He just says something, and you're like, oh, it's just Sam Jackson, mate.
Your reign of terror is over.
The reign of terror, your reign of terror is over.
But then there's two droids behind him, isn't there?
Yeah, then
so he has
two.
to jump himself down.
Like, I don't think so. Oh no! It's like, very brave and stupid of you, or something. Like, you're clearly outnumbered. It's like, I don't think so. And you're like, oh, damn you, Sam Jackson! And then two super battle droids turn up, and he like deflects them and jumps off, and then all the other Jedi's erect the lightsabers, and there's a massive scene of them battling loads of droids.
Yeah.
It's really cool. I've just put good battle all round. I'm getting tired.
Obviously the death of Jango Fett.
Yeah, that happens in this scene. I'll get to that. I've got a large scale battle, loads of Jedi, cool CGI bullfight, and then one of the clone troopers. Then the clone troopers rock up with Yoda, and it gets cooler. Anakin turns into a bull tamer. Mace Windu is just cool. I like all the battle scenes. I like all of the battle scenes. Some bad CGI, but overall I like it. Massive fan of clone stuff. Anyways, good battle all round. Because obviously they're just fighting. The Jedi start to lose, don't they? Because as I said about Episode 1, there's that many droids.
Yeah, just get sort of whelmed, don't they?
Yeah. Jango Fett shoots a Jedi. He's got like a dinosaur head. I've got a toy dinosaur.
I do know.
Dinosaur, it's like...
Yes. Yeah.
Something Cephalosaurus or something. And he's like, ding, ding, dies. And then he jumps down. And then he goes to shoot someone else and gets hit by the bull. And then he shoots the bull. It dies. He looks at Mace Windu. He starts shooting at Mace Windu. Mace Windu just goes, deflect, deflect, deflect. Arm off, head. And he goes...
Very quick.
And looks up toward, looks dramatically up towards Count Dooku, and Count Dooku goes, and you just see Boba weeping almost in the corner.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, I put here. But this is when C3PO is at his worst. Jango Fett dies super easy. He shoots and kills a random Jedi, then Mace Windu kills him after he gets knocked around by a rhino. Kit Fisto force pushes. Do you know what Kit Fisto is?
I do.
Green guy tentacles.
Yeah.
Pushes C3PO over after he goes. He's
got a little smile, hasn't he?
Die, Jedi dogs! Oh my god, what am I saying? And he gets pushed over.
And Kit Fisto has the
little
smile,
weird smile, yeah.
Yeah, and his head rolls off.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. He's stuck. And R2D2 comes up, and then R2D2 saves him. He suction cups his head and pulls it careful, I think you're going to strain something. And he pops off and he's get dragged along the floor and he's this is such a drag. And you're for fuck's sake. And he's and then when he pulls up next to C3PO's body, he's I put here, I'm quite beside myself. He's oh, for fuck's sake.
Stop talking, yeah.
Just stop. Droids are winning and clones showing up. Phase 1 clones are my favourite looking. Boba Fett holds his father's helmet with his heads inside. Unless it rolls out off camera.
Yeah, imagine if he dropped out as he picked it up.
I don't think they'll watch this, but if Corridor Crew watch this video, or watch this part of this, or if someone inspires the Corridor Crew channel to do an R-rated version of that scene, it would be amazing. Yeah, so that's quite minging. I mean, quite sad, and obviously that's why he hates, and that's why he becomes an evil guy, I guess.
Yeah, true.
There's a shot where the sand kicks up and looks really cool. I thought, it looks unreal. We got our first Death Star Easter egg.
We do, yeah, true.
Which is when they're in like a room, and it's just like, it's quite in your face now, you know what a Death Star is, on the wall. And they're like, can't let the Republic know of our plans. And they got put into a thing and given to Count Dooku. Anakin Obi-Wan versus Count Dooku fight is good, with flips and spins and stuff. We see Force lightning for the first time. If you haven't seen the originals, if you're going into it watching these 3 films to start with, you haven't seen Force lightning.
Yeah, it's cool effects wise.
Yeah. Let's talk about the Battle of Geonosis though. Is what I found a bit off-putting, and it annoys me a little bit, is like the clones, obviously they didn't design the clones until the film was past shooting. They planned to CGI them in.
Yeah.
And the CGI is so much better on Yoda than it is on the clones. Like when he stood next to the clones look real, fake, and Yoda looks real. That's the difference in quality. And there's that scene that I mentioned there, like they shoot down a sphere, whatever they are, star fighter, carrier cruiser, big balls, falls down and dust kicks up, and I sent you that scene, didn't I? I sent you the picture.
Yeah.
The video, sorry, that scene, that's really good. I really like that scene. They put Anakin and Obi-Wan versus Count Dooku, good fight, flips and spins and stuff. Oh god, I'm getting tired. I see Force Lightning for the first time. On the way to that, we haven't even got to the fight yet, but on the way there, or is it afterwards? No, it's on the way there. Padme and a clone trooper get knocked off the gunship. And then when Anakin and Obi-Wan,
you're right, yeah, I remember.
Yeah, and I put here, a clone tells Padme they should get to the command centre, and she's like, no, gather what troops you can find and get transport. But they'll have to go back to the command centre anyway, because they landed in the middle of a desert. There's nothing going on where you literally, there's nothing there but sand.
Yeah.
You know, you don't like sand. It's coarse, it's irritating, it's rough and it gets everywhere.
Exactly.
I forgot to mention that. Saying this, must have missed out a few notes. I was putting from where, bitch? You're in the middle of a desert. So, Anakin's like, no, Obi-Wan and Anakin are standing there, aren't they? And Obi-Wan's like, right, what we want to do is we don't want to take him now. You want to? No, I want to take him now. And he runs at him. He's like, beam, 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 gets knocked away. And then Obi-Wan has a fight with him, like bing, 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 bing. Fight gets sliced like twice across his, I think it's across his shoulder and his chest or something, and he gets disabled. And he's like on the floor, going. You don't look injured enough to not be able to move.
Right. Okay.
And he's just there going.
Yeah, it always puts me off a bit when you see lightsaber fights like that, because you'd be like, a lightsaber slash would do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you see the burns.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
But that's it.
But it shows you how good Dooku is.
Yeah. Beats Obi-Wan. And then Anakin Skywalker. Oh, he's about to kill Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Anakin Skywalker jumps in with 2 lightsabers.
Yes.
Green and blue, because he's picked up a blue one. Picked up a green one in the arena fight, and he's got Obi-Wan's blue one. And then there's a double fight lightsaber, and then he cuts off his hand. And then Yoda walks in. What have we got about Yoda? Oh, I hate Dooku's composited head. Because it's not the actor doing that sword fight, is it? It's just the actor's head on top of a stuntman.
Right.
So it's like
not ideal.
Floaty. Yeah. The Jedi lose in this film as they lose in the second film in every film. They lose in this one. They lose in Revenge of Return of the what? Revenge of the Rise of the Empire. Fuck's sake. Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
And then they lose in The Last Jedi. Critically and plot wise.
But the
Yoda fights weird and it ruined Yoda for a lot of people, didn't it?
Yeah, I'm
But-
not a big fan of the Yoda fight.
But when you think about it, he's a Jedi. How else is he supposed to fight? He's a small Jedi, about 3 foot tall.
Yeah.
He can't stand there and go, bing, bing, ding. Yeah, he has to jump.
Yeah, true. And flip and stuff. Yeah, true. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Like, he has to. I mean, it is stupid. But anyway, yeah. I love that I used to not know that Palpatine was the Emperor. Because obviously at this point, you don't. It gets made quite obvious in episode 3.
Yeah.
And then I put Dark Side song plays when we see Palpatine and company watch over the clone troops at the end. So that obviously hints towards it. But again, if you haven't seen the originals at this point, you don't know what that song is. You know it sounds a bit
true.
evil.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. Now, Anakin and Padme get married and roll credits.
Yeah, in secret they get married, don't
Get married in secret because it's against the Jedi Code.
they? We just C-3PO.
But then how are you supposed to make more Jedi? Surely, if two Jedi's bang, you get a stronger Jedi.
It doesn't work that way though, does it?
You think you would,
You would think it would.
but it doesn't. Revenge of the Sith. Everything about the opening space battle is great.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, pretty good.
This is where the fun begins.
Yeah.
I've got a bad feeling about this. They're doing their job, so we can do ours. You know.
Yeah, get some all the classic lines in the beginning. No, it's good. It's a good battle. It's nice.
R4 dies.
He does, yeah.
Gets his head ripped off by
He
buzz
does,
droids.
yeah, he does. It's quite brutal, really. And he appears fairly often, doesn't he? Because he's Obi-Wan's R2, isn't he?
Yeah.
Is it like, I think it's
like
R4
a red-
P17?
Something like that. It's a red astro droid, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. The lines.
And doesn't Obi-Wan say, my favourite droid? Or something? No.
No. Look
No,
at R4.
It does link back to the... In the...
Flying for droids.
No, in the... well, that as well, but it links into when he says, I don't remember ever owning a droid. So, what about him? He goes, we talk about him.
What about R4?
What about R4?
You cunt.
Brutal. Rest in peace.
Yeah. So R4 dies. So the flies. It opens with the space battle because the Separatists have taken Palpatine hostage.
They have, yeah. And, well, Grievous in particular has actually, haven't
Yeah. And Dooku.
they?
So General Grievous' ship right ahead, the one crawling with vulture droids, and they all fly towards him. It's like, this is where the fun begins. Let them pass between us, and then like flying in.
Yeah, the vulture droids I think are a good addition as well.
Yeah. Kills a few. He's like, I'm going back to help the clones, and he's like, no, they're doing their job, so we can do ours. And he's like, then missiles get shot at them. Anakin, again, what you said earlier about him being the best pilot, dispatches of his missiles pretty quickly by doing the spinny thing, and then they kind of just like spin around and level out, but collide and explode.
Yeah.
And then Obi-Wan gets rid of one missile, and then one missile hits him, but it doesn't explode. Like, if it just like because of plot, I guess, but because they didn't use normal missiles, Obi-Wan is still alive.
Yeah.
If they used normal missiles, it would have killed him.
He would have been dead, yeah.
Yeah. Would have been a dead Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
And instead it explodes into buzz droids for no reason whatsoever, other than to sell little buzz droid toys, I guess.
I guess. Maybe.
So, kills R4. Anakin tries shooting at them, blows off one of his wings, scrapes along the wing with his wing, kills 2, and then there's one left, and then R2-D2 kills it.
Yeah.
And he's like, hit the buzz droid, center eye! So they land on the plane, which is when he says, I got a bad feeling about this because the shield doors are closing.
Right.
Slice off, you get a fully CGI'd Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's interacted with so many and now he's one himself. Is
he? Okay.
Yeah, because the planes crash and as one's crashing and spinning, Obi-Wan Kenobi pops out.
Right.
And as he lands, he swings and like slices 3 or 4 battle droids. It's only like a split second. It looks alright.
Yeah.
And it's probably the best fully CGI character because you don't see him that much.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Obi-Wan, so he dives out, clearly happy to be on land.
Yeah.
And Anakin's like, seatbelt off. Let's go. And then, right, R2-D2 stay here with the ship. I sense Count Dooku. I sense a trap. Plan? Just bring the trap.
Yeah.
and they walk. They find Palpatine. They fight. I've got here that I like the Count Dooku fight. And at first I like General Grievous.
Does Grievous appear that early on?
No. But they fight Count Dooku, don't they?
But it's not much of a fight, is it?
I think it's a pretty decent fight. It's a fucking solid fight in the game. If you
Yeah.
play the game, it's a really good game actually on PlayStation 2. Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith. It's like... it's so hard.
But don't
It's
they
like the
just...
first
Isn't the
proper
fight
lightsaber
just
fight you-
Obi-Wan has to get pulled back because there's battle droids that come in and the super battle droids?
No, because the fighting... my powers have doubled since the last time we met, Count. Good. Twice the pride, double the fall. So the fight onto like a balcony, and he kicks Obi-Wan Kenobi off. So Obi-Wan Kenobi has to get back up, and on the way he kills 2 super battle droids.
Right.
And then
He gets knocked out.
he gets grabbed in the throat and flung, and then Count Dooku pulls like a balcony on top of him, which somehow doesn't break his legs. And then the fighting, do some more fighting, and then he like cuts off his arms. It's like really good because he like grabs his hands and like just swings his lightsaber underneath and cuts both of his arms off, and then catches his lightsaber, and then he has him on his knees with.
Yeah.
And then
And you see like
we
real
get
fear.
the
in
best
Dooku.
line of the scene.
Do it.
I came down.
And he does.
I think you get shock from Dooku as well, because you tell at this point Dooku knows who Palpatine is. Because he goes like, which in words would be,
Yeah.
you know.
No, but see, I always wonder this because Dooku must know from the beginning. Like, I don't think it's a surprise. Is it?
What to Dooku?
Yeah, because Dooku, like, it's obviously the Emperor's plan, but Dooku is the Emperor's apprentice. Like, he's got a Darth name.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
No,
Oh.
I mean, Dooku's in on the plan.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So when Palpatine tells Anakin to kill him,
Right.
he's like, "What the fuck, bitch? We're supposed to be homies." And he cuts his head off.
Right, yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because obviously his Darth name as well is Darth Tyrannus.
Yeah.
It's Dooku's Darth name.
Nobody calls him that.
Nobody calls him that.
It's
no.
always Count Dooku.
Count Dooku, yeah. I don't know
Uh,
where that name came from. I don't know if it's just from like the extended.
It's just his
film.
name, I think. Oh, Darth
Darth Tyrannus.
Tyrannus.
I don't know.
I think it might get mentioned maybe once in episode 2.
Maybe.
Oh, I think it's like,
Oh, maybe.
but at the end when he's like, "Here you are, Darth Sidious, here's your plans. Thanks, Darth Tyrannus."
Yeah, maybe.
Something like
yeah,
that.
something like that. Could be.
Worded exactly like that. Palpatine doesn't want Anakin to save Obi-Wan Kenobi. I think it's because he knows that saving him will hinder his plans in the future.
Yeah. Yeah.
He saves him anyway.
Of course.
He says his fate will be the same as ours. His fate will be the same as ours.
Who's?
Obi-Wan. Anakin says that about
See.
Obi-Wan to Palpatine. Save him, he'll slow us down. His fate will be the same as ours. That's what it says.
I see.
So they end up in an elevator shaft, which is when Obi-Wan Kenobi wakes up. And then they end up in the bridge. Oh, they're running down a corridor and they get attacked by ray shields.
Yeah.
I'd put here, Magna droids are cool and can fight with no heads. How he dies though is ridiculous. Like, Anakin kills his fair and square, like stabs, like slices it in half or whatever. But Obi-Wan Kenobi fights his and kills it fair and square by cutting his head off. But then it's like, you what, bitch, and continues fighting him. But then he just stands there swinging its like stick around, so he just cuts it in half.
Right.
Because instead of it like battling, it's like just
Just
spins
melts it,
the
yeah.
stick.
Sticks out.
Yeah. You lose, Master Kenobi. And he shoots the gun out and shoots the window out, flies outside, and then grapples onto the ship, walks to the escape pods, and then it's like, "Time to abandon ship." Beep, 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 and all the escape pods fire off.
Right.
And then do you know how to pilot a cruiser like this? You mean do you know how to land what's left of this thing? Ship goes down. I'll put cruiser crash is good and done well. I like that whole scene. is actually pretty decent.
Yeah, I
Like,
remember
from
it
the
not being
beginning
too
to
bad.
this is still.
Yeah, this point it's still pretty good,
Yeah.
and it's pretty solid.
So yeah, it lands and he got cuts to the bloody Senate.
Yeah, it's
Which
pretty solid.
you see the Millennium Falcon in this scene as well. Very tiny at the bottom of the screen. It's like.
Oh, you do? Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. I know exactly what you're talking about.
You get to see some bad CGI and overly shiny CGI backgrounds.
Right.
Padme tells Anakin that she's pregnant, and the acting is bad and the acting is as bad as the dialogue. General Grievous talks to Lord Sidious. And fun fact, on an old pirate copy of the DVD I had, which always had subtitles on, one of them, when he says, Lord Sidious, and bows down, it comes up, Lord CDs. Padme mentions the most boring planet in Star Wars mythos, so it slowly gets phased out.
Right.
It's where she wants to have her baby. Yeah, I didn't mention Jar Jar in episode 2, but he takes control of Padme's senatorial duties.
And not only that, he is perhaps the main person to bring everything into power, because it's him who suggests giving Palpatine all power in it.
Yeah.
And if he hadn't have done that, and if Palpatine hadn't have
The
persuaded him
droids would have won.
he wouldn't have got it. How else? What would have been his backup plan?
Exactly.
So it's Jar Jar is an idiot, and obviously that partly leads into which we won't go into now, but another time we might go into the Darth Jar Jar theory. One of the factors is, was Jar Jar just manipulated by Palpatine, like mind controlled into it, or was it what Jar Jar wanted all along? So, but yeah, Jar Jar, like you said, as Naboo, Jar Jar gets phased out by episode 3. He's barely a character.
You see him in the background in this scene. Where was I? Anakin has a scary dream about Padme dying. So he wakes up and goes and meditates. Yoda basically tells him to get over it.
Yoda's a bit ruthless.
Palpatine appoints Anakin to be his personal representative of the Jedi Council. The Council does not like this, so it doesn't give him the rank of Master, obviously annoying Anakin. Put perhaps on purpose. But I think Palpatine knew that it was going to annoy the Jedi Council and they wouldn't give him the rank of Master, so he did it.
Because then again,
get annoyed
it's
at
one of
the
the
Jedi.
things, if they had given him the rank of Master, would anything have happened again, with the rest of the...
Yeah. He wouldn't have hated the Jedi. I was going to say something else. Oh yeah, and they ask him to spy on Palpatine, which he doesn't like, and obviously makes him not like the Jedi even more. They make it more obvious in this episode that Palpatine is the Empire more than any other episode before it. I've also wrote Clone Trooper CGI looks worse in this than Attack of the Clones. But Kashyyyk looks nice. The whole Battle of Kashyyyk, where Yoda goes.
Oh, of course.
There's explosion. I put the battle is awesome. It's good to see what Wookiees can actually do as an army. Like usually we just see Chewbacca go.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Yeah, again, it would be nice if that was fleshed out a bit more.
The Kashyyyk scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. It ends with a ball almost hitting Yoda. And he just swipes. Windows Movie Maker transition swipe. Yeah. Obi-Wan goes to Utapau to find General Grievous, where we meet Commander Cody for the first time. He's a massive fan. He's got a massive fan base again, just for the simple fact they look cool. He's in Star Wars Clone Wars quite a bit as well.
Yeah.
He's one of
those two that I can remember by name. There's
Captain Rex.
Captain Rex is the one, yeah.
And then there's
5s, isn't there?
5s and there's a red one as well. I can't remember his name. I almost had a figure of him, but I don't trust the shop anymore. Fun fact: the Dark Side toys. I bought an Iron Man figure in early November, and I've still not got it.
Wow.
I've paid for it as well. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to. Anyway, we'll move on. We meet Commander Cody for the first time, and he's the only clone trooper we see without a helmet on.
Does he not wear a helmet?
He takes a helmet. He's got it off. He's next to him.
Ah, I see.
But when I think about it, I don't think you see a clone trooper with a helmet off. ever.
No.
Outside
I
of the
think of any.
cloning, outside of the cloning facility.
Yeah. No, you might be right there.
Because in battle with sand and that, they've all got the hats on,
Yeah.
helmets on. And then,
Yeah, you might be right.
Yep, I
I
think
can't think of any.
Obi-Wan rides his lizard.
Yeah.
It finds General Grievous. It's when he says literally everyone's favourite line. Hello there.
Indeed.
He's like, you Kenobi. General Grievous looks cool when he gets his lightsabers out, but then the fight itself is a bit meh.
It is.
Like, I remember watching it for the first time when he's like approaching him, and he's like, oh, "Fuck, what am I gonna do here?" And he's like,
Is that all thing?
"I'll stab, I guess." And his lightsabers both
I'm gonna
clash.
keep doing this. If you get in my way, it's not my fault. It's you just got in my way. Yeah.
And everyone's like, "Fuck, I'll stab him." So he stabs, and then both lightsabers obviously just clash on his own lightsaber, and it's like normal. But because he hasn't got the, I don't know why he doesn't do this in any other battle, but he just kind of slides down his lightsabers and cuts his hands off.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's some sort of force thing, because he's not force sensitive, because he's a droid. He's cyborg, but mostly droid. I wonder if that's why.
Hey, don't call him a droid. Yes, I remember.
Does he?
Did you say that in the film?
He doesn't say that in the film, no.
He hates being
No,
called a droid.
when he meets
because
Anakin Skywalker, he's like, "Yo, for someone with your reputation, I expected to be a little older." He's like, "General Grievous, you're shorter than I expected." Jedi's come. So he walks off. No, wait, I've put myself back now, like an hour. Fuck.
But he chops his arms off one by
Yeah,
one. doesn't he?
by sliding down. I think he's got like 2 hands left and he runs away because the clones invade. I put here, and the clones turn up and we get a poor chase scene, which is when he's like on the.
The wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a wheel. Grievous on a wheel versus Obi-Wan on a lizard.
Yeah. There's a lot of talking in this episode. Palpatine actor is probably the best in this episode. Anakin finds out Palpatine is the Sith because he basically tells him and says that he can help him save Padme. Anakin threatens him and instead tells Mace Windu. So instead of Anakin killing him, but then would that not lead to the whole strike me down and take my place? If Anakin was to just go, fuck it, yeah, I'll kill you, slice him, he'd just turn into a Sith, wouldn't he? Going off Emperor Palpatine's own little bloody theories of stuff.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know either. Tells Mace Windu. The chase between Obi-Wan Kenobi and Grievous ends on like a landing bay where Grievous overcomes Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's the second time Obi-Wan Kenobi kills somebody while hanging off a ledge. Knocks him, he's like hanging off a ledge and he force pulls a gun and then shoots him in the stomach, doesn't he?
So uncivilized.
So uncivilized. I wrote that here as well. So uncivilized. Anakin isn't happy that Mace Windu will not let him go with them to fight this Darth Sidious, calling from now on. Yeah. But I imagine he is happy that he's gained his trust. Because he said, if this is true, then you have gained my trust.
Oh, okay.
I imagine that would have pleased Anakin a little bit.
You think so, yeah. You think so.
There's a scene between...
Maybe it's too late by that point.
Maybe. There's a scene between that chat and the Mace Windu fight where Anakin and Padme are looking at each other from different areas of Coruscant.
Yeah,
it's eerie. It's eerie, and you can see his like thoughts bubbling. I watched a full video essay on this years ago, on just this one bit, and how like it's perfect. And when it was happening, I was like, something about this is just right. This scene, like, something about it. It's sat in the council room, and he looks out the window, and it's like there's something about it, and you're like, I don't know what it is, but it's good. The fight is okay, but gets better after the nameless Jedi. After the nameless at this point Jedi are killed, and it's 1-on-1 with Windu and Sidious.
Yes.
Also,
well, Kit Fisto's one of them that dies, isn't it?
Yeah, Kit Fisto dies.
See, I've got mixed thoughts about this because the nameless Jedi that die, on one side, on the positive side, it's a good way of showing just how powerful Darth Sidious is. Because,
but then they don't do anything, do they?
then they don't do anything. That's I mean, like, what I mean is the fact that they got killed so quickly. It shows how strong they are because, I mean, for a start, 4 Jedi have gone to arrest 1 man. So already that tells you that like the Jedi take him in high regard.
Yeah.
And to be fair, if you've actually followed the stories so far, like in all of the films at this point, the Sith are usually stronger than the Jedi. I mean, Darth Maul basically beats 2 Jedi in Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
And he only
Count
just
Dooku
died.
kills.
Count Dooku beats 3.
Beats 3 and then gets killed by.
You know what I mean? Even Grievous, who's not a Sith, but he's like a Sith ally. I mean, yeah.
Trained in the Jedi arts by Count Dooku.
But you don't ever see this. But he collects lightsabers, doesn't he? So he's got so many lightsabers.
Collects
They're all
lightsabers,
Jedi's he's killed.
Jedi's that he killed, yeah.
So he's obviously clearly as well beaten them. So in fact, the Sith generally are stronger. So the Jedi have gone in with 4, and the fact is, like on one hand, yeah, it's really good because it shows how strong Sidious is. He kills off. And remember, in the first one, nothing can kill a Jedi. They're meant to be the ultimate warriors. You know,
Yeah.
the leading clone troopers because they're that good. So the fact that Sidious kills 3 like a snap of his finger, it shows how powerful he is. But on the other hand, which is what I'm all into, they don't do anything to justify it.
No.
Like it would be better.
there's
I
one
would prefer it if it was a longer fight with the 4, and say it was a 1-on-4 fight.
Even if 2 got cut down and did quick.
Yeah.
Like, to be fair, Kit Fisto deflects some lightsabers and just goes dead.
Yeah, but it's too quick.
Yeah, like
You end up thinking these
he
guys.
stabs one, doesn't he? On his little jump,
Yeah.
and then he like stab and just kills another one. Like
Yeah.
he just thrusts and kills another
And
one.
it's annoying as well because obviously Mace Windu doesn't go down that easy. In fact, Mace Windu basically wins. And,
Mace Windu is supposed to be like the most powerful Jedi. Next to Yoda, isn't he? Supposed to be like the
But
most
then
powerful
it
Jedi.
annoys me a little bit how much the big 3 in Obi-Wan, Mace Windu, and Yoda do seem to be miles ahead of the other Jedi compared to.
Yeah.
And I understand you can't have all the Jedi as major characters, but at least like have a bit of fight. Like, why not extend that fight scene a bit longer? You know, give Anakin a reasonable amount of time to get there as well,
Yeah.
and have maybe he's, as you say, when Dooku was fighting Obi-Wan at the beginning of this film, he traps Obi-Wan under a balcony. Why not have Sidious do something where he force pushes a Jedi away, so then it's a little bit more even.
Yeah.
And you can have them kill them 1 by 1, but not just kill all 3 straight away and leave
Yeah.
it. Because it looks good when you go into that scene. You go,
Yeah.
oh, wow, we've got 4 Jedi taking this one, but it ends up being just a 1-on-1 anyway.
Yeah, and then I've got, I didn't write this down, but it's in my head. It's a really bit of bad editing. It cuts to a wide shot.
Yeah.
And it's like battle. Darth Sidious backflips, jumps on something, lands, battle. But then it cuts to them close, and it's just them going
Yeah.
like kids.
See, I don't remember being that good at battle in terms of visually.
No. But the idea of it's good until they start walking towards the window. Then there's that really cool scene where they like clash and like swing the lightsabers out and smash that window.
Right.
That's really cool.
But Mace Windu wins, doesn't he, essentially?
Yeah, essentially, yeah. And then then I've got Anakin turns up as Windu is about to strike him down. Then there's the lightning scene
Anakin is
with
right about
weird
this bit,
CGI face changing.
Anakin is right when he says, like, it's not the
Yeah,
Jedi way.
I put here, Windu defies all Jedi logic and goes to kill Sidious, and Anakin cuts off his hand and Windu gets launched out the window.
Yeah, it's like immediately afterwards, as
Yeah.
soon as he says that, which I always thought was very odd that he'd go from, because it's not even like a quick thing, like, just before he says, don't kill him, it's not the Jedi way, you think, oh, so he's actually on board with the Jedi beliefs, and then he cuts off the hand of the elder Jedi, knowing that guy's gonna, like, zap him, because even if you think what Mace Windu's not doing is right, he won't cut his arm off, especially knowing that man has just killed 3 of your other.
In the video game, it's like live action and game graphics. So when he goes to cut his arm off, it doesn't cut his arm off. Clashes lightsabers, and there's a full fight level with Mace Windu, and it's
that's
really
cool.
fucking hard. Yeah. Then there's the lightning scene with weird CGI face changing. His face is practical, but he goes from real face to CGI getting roasted.
Yeah.
Cuts away to Mace Windu, cuts back into real face. He's like, oh, tweak.
Yeah.
And he's
I
like,
also never understand, one thing I've never got
towards
with
the
the
Senate
Emperor.
and the courts. He's too dangerous to be kept alive.
The other thing I've never got with the Emperor, and it's never really explained, I don't think, probably is somewhere in like the bits of the lore. But
Yeah, the
why
boxing.
Palpatine's face does get so messed up from using lightning? Because Duke
He
uses
gets
it.
hit by lightning though. He gets hit in the face by lightning, doesn't he? He gets deflected back at him.
Okay.
Anakin becomes Darth Vader by name.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
he would be
Well,
Darth Vader. wouldn't he?
becomes Darth Vader, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I put by name because he hasn't got
Yeah,
a
it's
costume
not
on
got
it.
the
It's just
costume, yeah,
Anakin gets to the Jedi Temple with an army of clones to kill everyone, and it looks unreal.
Yeah,
And
it's pretty cool.
that battalion of troops is called the 501st, the blue stripes. The
I even like it
501st.
because he's got his hood up and he's got like that dark thing. But is it?
Da-da,
Are his eyes like
da-da.
red
They're like yellow, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
not in this scene, but in the
when he's going into the
Mustafar
temple?
scene. That's
Oh.
when they're yellow. But yeah, Execute Order 66 happens. You see the guy on what's the planet called? I used to know all the names of all the planets and that, you know, because Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
Well, the guy on like the weird city planet gets killed with a big egghead. You see the woman in the begins with an F. This planet, she gets murdered. And it's just like you see Yoda's like, oh no. It's like, oh no. And it's like these clone troopers go
It's like
to shoot like the nod like, yeah, let's go fucking kill this little green cunt. And then he just like swings around and cuts her heads off.
yeah, he does, and even Obi-Wan does, doesn't he?
Yeah, Obi-Wan.
Isn't it
Oh
one
no,
camouflage clone? Who's that? Is that
Obi-Wan
Yoda?
Kenobi gets. That's Gree. What's his name? He's called Gree.
Gree.
Yeah, Commander Gree. Yeah, the first Execute Order 66 is Commander Cody, isn't it? And
Oh,
he
yeah,
shoots,
looking at it.
shoots up. It hits
And
him. He
Obi-Wan's like, "What's going
falls.
on?"
He falls off the thing because he kills his lizard, and they both fall into the water.
Yeah.
Maybe his force. They landed in the water, not on a rock. Order 66 happens. Yoda kills 2 clones before they kill him and escapes from Kashyyyk with a really shitty cameo from Chewbacca. And he says, goodbye, random random Wookiee. Goodbye, Chewbacca. He gets on that spaceship, flies off. Obi-Wan flees to Utapar. Obi-Wan flees Utapar, sorry, in General Grievous's bomber ship, which is the ship that they fight next to.
Yeah.
Anakin goes to Mustafar, and this is where his acting. My favourite part of his acting is how good he looks when he's makeuped up and he's like giving that evil stare. You know, it's like when he looks at I think he like kills someone, just looks at the camera and like, oh my god, he's definitely evil. This guy.
Evil.
Yeah, it's really good. Anakin's. This is where his acting is at the best. The evil look in his eyes and the anger in his face is what I've just said. Really good. Obi-Wan and Yoda kill some clones on their way to the Jedi Temple. I can't remember why or how. I remember why. I can't remember how it comes to be. They're going there, aren't they, to change a signal or something so that any surviving Jedi won't go back to the temple.
Yes, because that's the that's the trap, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Obi-Wan, yeah. So originally Obi-Wan does not. Yeah, because the look at the. This made me laugh. The look at the video to see who killed the youngling. The younglings, don't they? Master Skywalker, there's too many of them. What are we going to do? That must have made him evil. Fucking hell. And I put here, originally, Obi-Wan does not want to fight Anakin, but basically Yoda says, you're not strong enough to fight Sidious, so you can fight Anakin. She's like...
Does he?
Yeah, because he's like, I can't do it, I don't want to fight him, he's like my brother. He's like, he's powerful enough to fight the Emperor. You are not. Go you must. Essentially.
Wow.
So Yoda's like, nah, I have no that shit. Oh, hell
It's like,
no.
I mocked
hell
you
no.
some kids the other day. In the last film, those kids mocked you in the Empress. Too much. Which is interesting because, as well, when you think of this, at this point, the only active Jedi that's killed a Sith is
Anakin.
Obi-Wan.
Oh, at this point, yeah. Oh, well, technically it's one apiece in it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but I mean, Yoda's not.
Yoda's lost every battle he's in.
Yoda's got.
I mean, yeah. the first episode of the animated Clone Wars show, he shows up, Count Dooku's apprentice. Doesn't kill her,
No.
but basically like
Yeah, Ventress and she.
tells that packet in,
Yeah.
like, fuck off, like, I'm Yoda, like,
I am.
owie, owie mate,
Yeah.
owie. I'll put character progression in C-3PO because in episode 1 he said he'll never get on a starfighter. In episode 2 he's on a starfighter, and in episode 3 he's flying a starfighter.
Wow. C-3PO.
C-3PO flies Obi-Wan and Padme and R2-D2 to Mustafar.
Wow.
Yeah,
You know what? He does learn.
he does.
learn.
Padme doesn't want Obi-Wan to go with him, so he's technically a stowaway and he hides in the toilet.
Yes, he
Or
does.
it looks like he hides in the toilet. He hides in a little
Yeah, I can see him
cubicle.
somewhere.
Yeah. The fights are both good, but the Yoda one's a bit silly.
It is a bit ridiculous.
Obviously, there's the jumping around thing that we don't like about Yoda. Then they start throwing the chairs at each other. There's one bit, he throws a chair at him, and Yoda, instead of bouncing out of the way, Yoda goes, fuck this, catches the chair with the force, starts spinning it around, and throws it back. All the while, Sidious goes, fuck, and jumps out of the way.
Yeah, he does. He does.
Yeah, so the fights are good, but Yoda's a bit silly. Obi-Wan Anakin fight might be a bit too long.
It's long.
It's really long, but this is when you see the difference between the Mace Windu Sidious fight and the Obi-Wan Anakin fight is Obi-Wan and Anakin actor-wise can do the lightsaber stuff,
Yeah.
and you can tell because they're like actually swinging and hitting the light,
Yeah.
But it's like, basic
Yeah.
left, right, swing, left, right, swing with them two.
Yeah.
Until it goes to a wide shot where you see Mace Windu or someone do a fucking dodgy flip.
Yeah, definitely.
The high ground apparently wins unless of plot. So the high ground wins when Obi-Wan has the high ground, but when Obi-Wan doesn't have the high ground, when fighting General Grievous or when fighting Darth Maul, it doesn't matter. It's just like...
True. Oh, yeah. I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Maul has the high ground, doesn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, obviously, it's meant to be like moral high ground as well, isn't it? It's meant to be,
Yeah, I suppose it's supposed to symbolise the moral high ground.
But still, yeah, in actual terms, high ground, yeah.
Have you seen that in Emperor Strikes Back when Luke Skywalker's fighting Anakin? Anakin's Darth Vader, sorry.
He throws it.
He's at the top of some stairs, isn't he? Luke
Yeah.
Skywalker, and he's like, Obi-Wan has taught you well, and he just throws his lightsaber
Yeah,
at
so
him.
they jump in, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just flings it, yeah.
Yeah. So Anakin jumps at him, gets his legs and arm cut off. Anakin burns as Obi-Wan picks up the lightsaber and leaves, and he says, I hate you! I hate you! And he's like, you're my brother, Anakin! I loved you! You were the chosen one! You were supposed to destroy the Sith! Not leave it in darkness! No, you were supposed to bring balance, destroy the Sith! Not join them! Bring balance to the Force! Not leave it in darkness! Yeah, so he leaves. Padme gives birth to the
Doesn't
kids.
check that he's dead. Just leaves him
Doesn't check that he's dead, just leaves, yeah. So
leaves him burning in
if he killed-
pain.
in the video game, there's two levels at the end. There's a level where you play as Obi-Wan Kenobi, you fight Anakin. And then there's a level where you play as Anakin and you fight Obi-Wan Kenobi. And you win. You jump and he misses and he stabs him. He goes on until he dies. And it's like a cutscene. And in the cutscene, Palpatine gives Anakin Skywalker his red lightsaber. Anakin grabs it and just kills Palpatine and becomes the Sith Lord. Wouldn't be strong enough at that point though, would he? Really? Yeah, so Padme gives birth to her kids. And she's really good with coming up with names, isn't she? No, you've not had kids. But it took us ages to decide our kids' names.
Right, I see.
And she's gone. Or you just found out that she's got 7 twins.
Yeah.
Luke. Leia.
Dad. dies. Yeah, true.
She says,
I guess it helps when the characters were already built for him. So.
but yeah, so Darth Vader is created in with the best no of all time. Voiced by James Earl Jones, I think. Doesn't sound like Hayden Christian.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't sound
James
fully
Earl.
like James Earl Jones.
I don't know, because it sounds more like... It doesn't sound like James Earl Jones from the original Star Wars, but it sounds like James Earl Jones from Rogue One.
Maybe.
Don't talk on your aspirations, General.
Yeah, it could be then.
Yeah. So
It's just the no, though, isn't it? So I guess it could be.
No. Well, it's like, where's Padme?
It's a little bit embarrassing, the no, I think.
Where's Padme? Says, oh, you killed her in your anger or something.
Yeah.
He lies to him.
He does lie, but it was also
So
his
put
fault
here as
that
well.
she died, isn't it?
Padme tells Obi-Wan that there is good in Anakin as she dies, hinting to obviously the end of Return of the Jedi, where there is actually good in Anakin still.
There is. He's killed children, but he's still good.
Yeah, so both those scenes anyway, they're kind of like parallel each other, so you've got a life and a death at the same time. Like you've got the birth of the proper Darth Vader and the death
Yeah, true.
of Padme.
The birth of the twins as well.
I kind of got chills when you hear...
Yeah.
You only hear one go, but that's really good. That's a really chilling scene. Luke goes to Tatooine with Lars, and I've put here, and Leia goes somewhere nicer.
She does go somewhere so much nicer.
It's Alderaan in it. I
It's
forgot what
Alderaan.
it was called at the time, but that's what I wrote.
Not
yeah.
only Alderaan, but Luke's moisture farming. She's a princess.
Yeah, what's with that?
So
Yeah.
Leia definitely had the best pick of the two.
Yeah. Yoda tells Obi-Wan that Qui-Gon Jinn has learned how to become a ghost. So like,
Yeah, he's spoken to
Yeah.
him, hasn't he? Yeah.
the funeral scene stars Jar
It'd be
Jar.
cool if you saw Qui-Gon as a ghost.
It would be, yeah, that'd be pretty cool. It would be better if he told him himself,
Yeah.
or if when he was on Tatooine, he turned and he was there or something.
Yeah.
Like, funeral scene stars Jar Jar.
Do you know what would have been cool? Do you know what would have been cool if they'd have to change it quite a bit maybe, but if it was better if it was Obi-Wan, but you could have also seen Yoda as well. If they'd been warned by Qui-Gon Ghost, if they'd gone the clones behind you or whatever, Qui-Gon,
Oh yeah.
you know.
Oh, you hear? I forgot to say, in episode 2, you hear Qui-Gon Jinn shout to Anakin, don't you? When he's killing the Tusken Raiders and Yoda's in the room, going, "Oh no!" You hear Qui-Gon shout, "Anakin, no!"
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Right, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I forgot about that until just now. Yoda tells that funeral scene with Jar Jar Binks. We see the Death Star being created, and we see a young, old guy that was recreated in Rogue One. What's his character name? He's dead now. Fully CGI character in Rogue One.
Oh, Moff Tarkin.
Moff Tarkin.
Yeah.
You
Oh, you
see
see a
him?
young version of him?
Yep. Yeah, you can only tell it's him because of his weird
Oh,
cheekbones.
Right.
So it's like,
Yeah. 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 True.
yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
it looks pretty shit,
Right.
but it's for like 3 seconds.
It's a little throwback, isn't it?
Yeah. See Leia as a baby and her new parents, and Luke's parents hold him in front of the two sons as Obi-Wan Kenobi walks away.
Yeah.
And he goes, Here comes up, directed and written by George Lucas. And like,
For the last time.
For the last time he ever directed a film. So wrap up the podcast. Took a lot longer than I expected.
Yeah, it did take a long time. I thought, yeah.
Obviously, this is, I suppose, with it being our first episode, this is like a special, extra long, I suppose you could say.
Yeah.
Which one's your favourite episode?
Of the three,
Yeah.
it's probably three.
It's got to be 3, I know.
There's problems with it. I'm not saying
It's
there's things I'd like to have done differently. For example, for me, it is the best one because the things it does well, it does better than the other two films. But the things that change,
yeah, so the things that the other ones do well.
and the things that I'm not a massive fan of, that I know that I'm in the minority. So, for example, for me, I'm not a big fan of Grievous as a character. I think, bearing in mind it's a trilogy, they've added him in too late, and it's a cool concept. But the fact that he's more of a droid, and it's like he's basically
he's in it
pre-Vader. Yeah, and he coughs. I don't like the coughing. I think his fights, it's too clunky and that. I think the lizard chase is weird. I think him dying by the gun and stuff. It's
almost like Obi-Wan Kenobi got sick of seeing CGI characters, so he killed one.
he has to work with a lot, and it's as well because I understand that he becomes a fan favourite, and a lot of the reason he's a fan favourite is the TV shows and stuff around it. But then I think it makes his death even worse. The fact that he does so much in the cartoons to then just be killed off by a shot.
He was a fan favourite because of the Samurai Jack style one. Then he was made a laughing stock in the Clone Wars CGI animated
one. Is he?
Yeah, because he's a bit shit in that.
Right.
But
and
then,
see, like
in this at least he does.
Yeah, his reputation and stuff precedes him, but so I'm not a big fan of that. I think the Order 66 could have been carried out better because the Jedi go down like total punks.
Yeah.
You know, like it would be nice to see.
Well, there's that one scene where that one random nameless Jedi jumps out and kills a few clones so that Senate could get away.
Cool. Again, no, in the lore, like I know that for a lot of the stories in the lore, and a lot of like the fan stories, they focus on that bit. They focus about Jedi's that have managed to, like there's a lot of fan stories that are either Jedi's that managed to escape that order, like they managed to kill their clones before the clones killed them, and also, or some of the clones that went against the order because they've got such an attachment to the Jedi.
Yeah, the lore is apparently Captain Rex went against Order 66 because he's such a big character in the Clone Wars.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
Rebels.
It annoys me a little bit as well because it's not the worst twist, but it's like, and the principle is fine itself. I just would have liked it developed on more because for the biggest moment, that's literally the biggest moment of that trilogy because it's the moment when the Jedi get wiped out.
Horroring, sad scene though.
Yeah.
Like it's done. It's still done.
It's just the
well.
montage for me. I would have rather it had been done.
Yeah, it's still done well. Like you see Plo Koon get shot out of the sky. Have you seen the
Plo
video?
Koon's one's one of the best.
There's a video, isn't there, where I can't wait to go home and see my son and my family. I hope they're okay. He's like, it's blown up.
But that's what. But of the three, it's the best, I'd say. Yeah, and I think you agree with that.
Yeah, I do.
It's the best.
But what's second best?
Oh, a disagreement comes from which is second best. And for me, it's
Attack of the Clones.
It's the Phantom Menace.
It goes 3-2-1 in ranking. Best, second best, worst.
For me, it goes 3-1-2, and the reason why is I think
on the 3-1-2. No.
3-1. For me, like, and it's a big if, and they're not. I don't think there's a huge amount in the difference, but if you take away the Jar Jar stuff from Episode 1,
I've said this.
It's a very solid film.
Yeah, it is anyway. Like it's just CGI, Jar Jar, and acting.
Yeah, even the acting, like.
Even the acting, to be fair, it's not bad.
Because
in parts.
Yeah, the kid got a lot of flack as Anakin, but it's a kid. I think you can give him a bit more leeway.
Oh, he should have. He didn't act normal. That was the last film he was in.
But he got bullied for it, didn't he?
Yeah.
He was one of the ones that.
And Jar Jar nearly killed himself.
Yeah. Which is severe.
That's our fault, by the way, as fans. It's our fault.
It's not me and Fish personally.
Not personally, but like it's as a fan base.
If he's listening, he can happily come on this podcast.
Imagine.
Have a talk with him.
But like as fans, that's our fault.
And
we nearly killed him as a fan base. We nearly killed somebody.
And not only that, as a fan base, like that's the extremist one, the most extreme one. But you've got like the young kid. He got bullied a lot. The young Anakin. Even more recently, Rose, she got bullied in
she got bullied
Star Wars.
yeah.
And whatever you think about the films, and as I say, I've got criticisms, but you can't go personally harassing the actors and ruining their lives.
No, but Episode 2 is better than Episode 1.
Yeah, for me, the difference comes to for me, it's just there's more filler in Episode 2. There's more CGI which isn't done well. Like even at the beginning, we didn't mention it when it first announced, but the first scene in Episode 2 should have been really cool when the ship comes in and explodes and that. CGI, it's all fake. Like, and it's not aged well, the CGI. And even though Episode 1 has a lot of CGI as well, it's not as much and it's not as...
Bits with Jar Jar Binks, where he's walking at first, you're like, oh god. You have to adjust.
Episode 2 has good stuff. Like, I quite like the
whole Geonosis scene's good.
The whole Geonosis stuff's quite good.
The speed of chase is passable.
Yeah.
The fight at the end's good.
Yeah.
It's just better. The arena scene with all the Jedi.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I
the
think the difference is that it becomes more personal. I think as well the other thing is the context. Like,
if you can look past the CGI, it's better.
But for me as well, you've got to think of the context of the time. So Episode 1, when George Lucas created Episode 1, you know, Star Wars had been off for a while.
It's not 1993 no more.
No, what I'm saying is though, they do Episode 1, and it would be hard for anyone to predict how it's going to go. George Lucas at that point don't know if people are going to hate it, people are going to love it. It came out, people pretty damning about it, and then he doesn't correct anything for Episode 2. Or the things he does correct aren't the things that people had the problems with, because you could say he
dumbed down Jar Jar lots.
He did, but he still didn't produce a brilliant film.
No.
Like, and you know, it's just little things like it's, you know, like how I feel like there's a lot more awful writing. For example, the whole romance stuff with Anakin and Padme, like, it's not done well.
It's not done well, but it has to be there.
It has to be there, but I wouldn't have done it that way. Like,
I think you would have done it that way, but you would have written a better script for it.
Because
you would have written better dialogue, and it would have.
It's the thing about Hayden Christensen again as well. It's like, yeah, he gets criticised for being a bad actor, but look at the stuff he has to work with. Like, if you're a writer who's writing lines like, "Of course, it's rough, it's irritating, it gets everywhere," not like you. That's hard to make that sound realistic for anyone.
Yeah,
Never mind for.
He delivers the lines about killing the Tusken Raiders as well. So he can do it. He can act. He's not been in a film where he's given that opportunity.
Yeah.
So
what for you makes episodes? I feel like for me the thing that makes you.
I'm just a massive clone fan.
That's what I was going to say. I think the clones are what edges for you. Obviously the clones aren't in Episode 1.
But yeah. Anyway, as a whole, the prequels.
The villain as well, Darth Maul.
Darth Maul. I've got a Darth Maul figure. Up there, next to Batman.
Yeah, true, yeah,
obviously.
Yeah.
Cool. He stood in that pose on purpose. I've got him ready for a photo. He stood like this, hand up, because I'm going to have him choking Jeff, which is my phase 1 clone trooper, who's just stood at the top there. And then he's like this. No, he's going to be choking Captain Rex and stabbing thingy. So he just stood ready.
Nice.
But I need, follow me on Instagram, if Toys Talk, if you want to see stuff like that. But overall, the prequels aren't as bad as you remember them.
No, like when I think of films that get a bad rap, when I think of the prequels overall, they're not the best films, but they get more hate than they should. Like, I feel what's happened is they've got criticised.
Overall, they were solid 7.4, I'd say.
They're a fun watch, and like, yeah, they have some stuff which is it's damaging to the Star Wars films and stuff. Like, for example, one of the bad things of Episode 1, midichlorians.
Yeah.
That's something that got hated on. And obviously Jar Jar Binks is a bit of a hate character. But the hate is a lot more. Like, so if you listen to the fan base and the online talk of the prequels, especially the first 2 of the prequels.
They have found their place now.
But all you get on the online talk is hate. You would think there is nothing redeeming about those films at all. Yet, you could easily, if you give it a bit of thought, there is definitely good moments, good scenes, good stuff from both. Whether it's, for me, in Episode 1, Darth Maul, very cool, Qui-Gon, very cool, the pod racer scene, very cool, the fight at the end, the music, all very good.
The music in all of them is very good, though.
Yeah.
Especially in that speeder scene, I'm going to show you in a minute.
And obviously, in Episode 2 has got its moments, the Geonosian battle, all sorts. There's good moments. Battle. It's not as bad. Like, if I'm watching him, there's stuff I'd do differently, there's stuff I'd change, there's stuff I'd do better, but I'd still watch him and enjoy him. The question that I always think is an interesting one, and obviously we're running out of time, but maybe just for people to think on, is I had a friend once say, if the prequels weren't prequels, but they were in their own right, so obviously the prequels, the original trilogies came out first. And then the prequels are following on, so the prequels already had a massive head start because they've already got the fan base, a lot of the fan base watching.
Do you mean if they were released first?
Would Star Wars have kicked on? And you could think, yeah, of course it would. It's a big budget sci-fi. However, someone pointed out one of Disney's other attempts to do this was that
John Connor
of Mars or whatever. And I've not seen that film, but it's a sci-fi thriller.
It's alright.
But it didn't kick on, did it? It's a big flop for Disney. And for Disney to have a big flop is quite rare these days. So, especially commercially. So the question...
But again, if
Phantom Menace was the first film that came out of Star Wars and not A New Hope...
If Lucas started with the Phantom Menace, I think if it was his first Star Wars film, it would have been so much better than what it is. He would have done things practically, and he would have put effort in with the actors.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Because there's rumours that at this point he was just rushing them out so he could crack on with his animated CGI shows.
Right.
Because in his own ways, you don't have to deal with actors. So
but I mean, for example, if nothing was changed, if it was the very first Star Wars film came out, as it is now, was the Phantom Menace.
But if they forced out the second one, if they managed to force out the first three, maybe. Because
I think as well, and this is another point, is it maybe would have, because one of the things I think me and you see differently from some of the fans is how you view it, and your age depends. For example, we watched the prequels, and for both of us, I'm guessing even for you, for me definitely, the prequels were our first entry into Star Wars.
No, mine were the... I've got them actually. I've got VHS copies of the special edition original.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, but for me at least, like the prequels were my first entry in, and even for you, young enough that it was a big part of it.
Yeah.
Whereas for a lot of the older fans, if you've grown up watching the originals and you're a big fan of the originals, and then you go out to see a prequel, you might expect a lot more of the older stuff to be in. For example, if you grew up and you loved the originals, and then you know the next one coming out is a prequel and it's episode 1, you might be thinking Luke and Leia are going to be in it. You might be thinking Vader might be in it. You know what I mean? Whereas for the whole prequels, you get Vader very, very little and Luke and Leia just as babies, don't you?
Yeah.
So as an original fan, you might be hoping for a lot more Vader because, imagine if you're watching.
Oh, if you've never seen Star Wars before, but you know who Darth Vader is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's his growing up and stuff, but maybe a lot of the fans would want Vader to have appeared as Vader a lot sooner than what he does, which I don't think is that important. But for an original fan going and watching it, they might be just watching the film thinking, "Wow, it's been 3 hours, 4 hours, still no Vader."
Yeah.
So.
Well, I watched them all within the space of a week, within the space of like 4 or 5 days, and when it's quite sad. You come to the end of episode 3 and you think, this is as good as as much as I still kind of like them, it's such a massively missed opportunity. And it could have been so much better than it turned out to be.
Yeah.
And when you see them, you see the two sons, you realise it gets better anyway.
Yeah.
But what a letdown. But at least when it's all wrapped up, it's all said and done, and you think the acting was bad, mostly. The CGI was off, mostly. Some of the characters were a bit why, but then at least the story as a whole, there's still a vision and there's still a straight story arc.
And at least he stuck to what he wanted to do as well. Which is obviously one of the criticisms of this new trilogy is that probably the biggest criticism is how it's not been stuck from the trilogy.
And I said to you, didn't I? If J.J. Abrams directed all 3 of them films, it would be completely different and it'd be so much better.
Oh, it definitely would be.
But anyway,
I'm sorry for another.
This
good
is like
question.
2.5 hours. This is a 2.5 hour long episode, first episode. And remember, if you've made it this far, by the way, well done. You deserve some midichlorians of your own and some Republic credits. But no, we don't accept those.
They probably stayed for the voices you've been doing for hours. They've been quite on point.
But yeah, episodes in the future will be shorter than this.
Yeah.
My name is Fish or Adam. My name's Adam. You can follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at If Toys Talk and on Twitch at The Very Big Fish.
Yeah, I'm Liam, or Mook.
Mook.
Yeah, you can just follow me. I'm just on Instagram as Liam_Mook. But yeah, I just want to say from my point, it's been fun doing this, but I hope that
we managed to
if you've enjoyed this, there's some point.
I don't know, we'll have to talk about the originals next week. Maybe we won't do news next week. Maybe we'll just do the originals. An hour and a half.
Yes.
It's longer than an hour. We're on an hour and a half now.
Unless we split these into two.
And nah.
But yeah.
But yeah, we'll talk about the prequels next time. The sequel. Fuck's sake, the Orig Tridge.
And there's going to be a comment section, isn't there?
There's a comment section. This is obviously getting uploaded to YouTube. Cool. We'll wait before we start uploading it to everywhere else. But yeah, if you've enjoyed the video, please remember to smack the like button and subscribe, and we will catch you next time.
Indeed.
This
Thanks
has
very
been Hold My Cape.
much. Oh my.
Hold My Cape. No, we said nothing about superheroes.
That will be coming soon.
But we probably will primarily be doing superhero shit. Bye.
Vader's got a cape.
Bye bye.
Bye.
He has got a cape. So has Darth Maul for a bit.
Sidious is a cape.